FoxTrapRadio.com. It's going down, man. Thoughts with DVP.
What's happening, y'all? What's happening, y'all?
Mm-hmm.
I get the setup.
Time to wake up. Yep.
Guess I can shut this.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Behind the scenes.
Alex, what up?
Already good.
Goodness, I can't see nobody logging in, but I can see
You can't
y'all
see
there.
it, right.
So we're gonna make it do what it do, while we do what we do, when we do what we do.
So you can only read the written thoughts on, right?
Because you know how you
Yeah,
get
don't say.
interactive with the screen.
Say it again.
I said that will affect your interaction. Now you get fake interaction.
Yeah, well, I mean, now I can see them, but I don't have to be right here.
Oh, can you see them?
Oh, I can see when they type something.
Can you see what it says?
Because I show you.
I'm saying on this one, yeah. Not on. I'm on the random
He's just
thoughts.
looking at
Oh, you just
written
look
Yes,
at
I
this
want
one
to
down
go
there.
there.
Okay.
With the mouse.
What's up, Audrina? See, I can see
Okay,
you
yeah, I
there.
can see that.
So check this out.
Right.
I need for y'all.
Boy, you got that 80/80 vision.
I need for
Right.
y'all to be on Random Thoughts with DVP, so y'all can hit me with questions. What's up?
Right.
What up, B?
I can't even see that.
What up, B?
Late again.
Alex
Are we
is going
late?
down.
6:01.
No, stop playing. What's happening? That's right, B. I know you
Hey,
working.
Wake
Cassandra.
up and more in the
Oh,
building.
so I could talk to the people now?
Hey, for those of y'all that's on the
Casino.
Darren Bell page, I need for y'all to go to Random Thoughts with DVP or FoxTrapRadio.com, because we finna get ready to get it crackin' up in
Yeah.
here. Oh, hey, look who just checked in. A. Cassandra Howell. You know who that
Oh.
is? You know who that is?
Hey.
You must be wondering about the folks. Now all of a sudden you using the alias. I ain't gonna say who you are, A. Cassandra Howell, but I know what I know.
Was she around here recently?
Yeah, my specs won't let me see. Oh, it look like it says Scott Farron. I can see what you type. I just can't see who checking
Come
in.
in.
But I need for y'all to go to Random Thoughts with DVP. Oh, hush. Oh, you incognito.
You incognito.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up.
Channel 1. Wake up and more, logging on. Y'all come on in, holla at me. Let me know y'all out there.
Yeah, hell, we
Checking out
finna get it cracking like y'all
finance
get.
topics for the day.
Oh, I still got my witch collar on.
Y'all still got that doggone.
My
Oh.
I actually need one today, man. You can be of service, bro.
oh, he trying to evict me. Bro. He trying to
Alright,
evict
everybody
me.
phone on silent already? Just checking with you, cause mine wasn't.
My phone's way over there. I don't think anybody gonna call me. I'm not important.
Y'all ready? Alright, let's do it, y'all.
Okay, no, I can't go up. You know, I
Coming
can't see. I
in.
can't see the date.
Coming in, y'all ready? You good? Coming in at 5, 4, 3.
What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? It is what's the date, somebody? I can't.
13?
13.
Oh, it's Wednesday the 13th. Is anything unlucky about that?
No.
Okay, so it's Wednesday the 13th. We here at FoxTrapRadio.com. I'm here with my man Loud. I'm sorry, Mr. Loud.
You had it right down here.
Oh, he ain't got his headphones on, so I'm gonna let him get in trouble by himself now.
I'm about to
Me.
get in trouble, right?
Oh,
right.
but and the beautiful Trina Marie, she ain't got on headphones.
Right.
You know,
Trina don't know what her.
I'm gonna call my attorney because I'm
Right.
thinking this is sexual discrimination. Ain't the one out inalienable
Some
rights?
too
You can't
cute.
discriminate
Yeah.
against us on race, religion, sex, and that. Will, you got something you need to tell us? Everybody got their headphones except the woman. Will you discriminate?
I guess we're gonna have to make a transaction.
Hey, any good attorney that just hit me up, we need to discuss this. I feel like I'm being discriminated against.
We the odd man out now.
You know what I'm saying? I see how this going on. But hey, it's the 13th. It's the day before. It's the day before that day when y'all done spend way too much money because y'all done made some mistake. And you know, I ain't even gonna. Some of y'all probably really in love. Now you're just gonna be broken in love if you're trying to work for tomorrow. But that's a whole different. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna do what we always do. You know, it's like it's the 13th. This is Random Thoughts with DVP. I am your host, DVP. I'm here with Mr. Loud Boy and the beautiful Trina Marie. Let me just say this now, because I don't want to just pick on my man Loud, because I ain't gonna discriminate. Shit started extraordinaire. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Raise your hand.
I saw one of her posts saying, "I'm gonna take it easy today. I'm not gonna stir
I'm gonna be
trouble." Right.
Did you see the sand? Did you see the sand thing that went with it? Because it wore off before the day went over. She's like, okay, shit, I'm back.
Hey, I lasted 4 hours. Give me credit.
What up, Mark?
Wow.
So that's gonna do something. How you been since the last show?
Me? I've been doing great, man. Let's see. I ain't do nothing extravagant, doing just
No bank robbing, no shit like that.
No, I saw a lot of bank robbing. There's a lot of crime going on, man. We don't even want to get into that. But had a good week, blessed week, man. Just more and more things going on, getting ready for the Ronda Brothers show in New Orleans, and a lot of things coming through with that. Oh!
So he slipped it in, he went to New Orleans for those guys.
Okay, listen. I do get one. Well, I'll tell you about that later. I'll tell you on the low. Myself and my girl Monique get made. Cousin, she works and lives in New Orleans, so she's gonna be in there helping me out. But we got picked up by this major makeup line, bro. So that endorsement and that sponsorship is gonna be amazing. So we're gonna have some products and things like that. So I'll tell you which company next show.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Appreciate it.
Okay, I'm like I don't know. Trinity, how was your week?
Yeah.
She's
Right.
like,
Hey, tell me. I don't know.
Yeah, he don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, just chilling, you know what I mean?
Oh, you better tell them about the circus we went to, Shaw. Don't act like I don't do nothing for you. You know, you got everybody thinking I don't take you nowhere but to the show. You better say something.
Ooh.
Fine.
All right, and then divorce attorneys on the show. Just hit me up.
We went to the Universal Circus.
No.
On Friday.
We went where? We went where?
You can say it.
Universal.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't go to
You know
Universal.
I'm not about to put all those
You know what I'm
theatrics in
saying?
it.
Because we don't want y'all to confuse that one with ours. We went to the Universal Circus. Hey, just say this right quick now. Support black business. Universal Circus is a black circus.
Yeah, it is.
And it's the joint. All right, go ahead, baby.
I was, you know me, chilling. I'm done.
I love her. She always says, and she's got to say it twice. Chillin'.
Chilling.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
man.
hey,
So like some of my folks
check
just
out
found
that page. She ain't chilling. She got folks leaving Facebook. She got folks taking out contracts on me. Man, I don't know. Saga, what up?
Saga the boss, Ernest, what
She
up?
got Saga about to get there. So my week was I did a fashion show. I did an eye candy fashion show.
Oh, yeah.
Sunday, we went to Universal Circus and the clowns was doing
Friday.
that. Friday, Saturday. It one day, man. We here. I'm old.
One day over the weekend.
We went on a day they ended and watched shit. That's all I remember. It was a little hot at first. They had to cut the heat off, and but hey,
Really?
if you ain't never been to the Universal Circus, you need to check it out at least one time. It's way different than the
Ringling Brothers.
Ringling Brothers. It's so much more people oriented. They get the crowd involved. It's a lot.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
if you ain't seen it,
I really need to go. I actually all the time I've lived in line. I really
Hey,
need to
Ursula.
go.
you got, and it's not a kid event.
Right.
It is not just for kids. You know, I actually used to work for them, so I had a little information about them. So, and Trina said she wanted to go. Let me just call, see what we can
All right,
do.
let's go.
You got to hook up.
Yeah,
Right,
so
you know
we
it
went
is.
to the show, so and had a good
It was
time.
nice.
Right.
Yeah.
There wasn't no bunk stuff, you had to fake it. You just
No, it
really
was-
had
it was a
to
good
have
time.
laughing
Yeah.
and all
Yeah,
that.
and
I think it's more geared to us anyway,
It
so it's
is.
like, I'll say, our type of fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
They
that's
had
what
the
I'm saying.
music, all
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
All that.
yeah.
You see, and it's funny because you see some animals, but animals are not the show.
No.
Right.
You got dancing.
But they
I'm
was
just
doing
saying
with
this.
them horses, oh my God.
If you got a weak stomach, leave before the guys with the ladders come out. Man, them contortionists,
Right.
dude, they folded the dude up in the ladder.
They folded
him up in the ladder.
He heaved through the ladder and then they took it and they
Oh.
folded it twice and he
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
they
crazy.
folded him, not put him in, they folded the ladder with him in it. I had closed my eyes.
So we are very talented. You know
Absolutely.
What I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Without
So,
a doubt.
if you get a chance to do that, holler at them, check them out. So,
I'm
what?
calling you for tickets, so you know that I'm going.
Well, you so busy, you ain't never down in the dirty South with us. You always traveling the globe.
Uh-oh, so I can say Team Trina.
Well,
So
so
she
I
can't
got-
read nothing but that. She ain't
That's right. He bold and capitalized it just for me. I feel special.
What's known for security? Can we get some security up in this here? Can we get some security up in here? All right, so what we're going to do is while we waiting on our guest, because can we go straight through or do we need to take a quick break? All right, we're going to take a quick break and we're going to come back and we're going to let y'all, because, Mr. Moore has something he want to bring to y'all and I'm going to let him do that.
Right, do that
And then
for a
we're
hot
going
second.
to
It's all red. It's Black Love,
so
you know?
give us a quick 2-3 minutes and we'll be right back.
Right back.
All right, peace, popcorn, and chicken grease for a few minutes, not to the end of the show.
We're going to take about 2
Yeah, they
minutes.
clarify that right there.
Black
They
Love.
go like, oh, he say that at the end. He must be
Miss-
leaving already.
Miss Trina look all good in her red. We got to get some Black Love going on. DBT,
but-
ethnic as always. What?
The struggle is real. It's real.
The struggle is real. Right. Look, she just looked like that, but she's struggling on the side, but she just looked good like
Yeah, I always got to fight to prove my love.
that. Yeah, y'all, it's going down. It's going down.
Saga, you gonna be a part of the team. He cut me deep. What's up, Mary Anthony? What's up? Hold on. How is Honey watching the show? Honey, don't.
And she supposed to be here.
Yeah. Honey, don't
We
make me call y'all.
you
we
watching
waiting
on
for
the
her.
Huh?
We waiting for her. Okay, is that her? Maybe she logged in and then walked in.
Yeah, 'cause he just let somebody in.
Yeah, he talking to somebody.
Saga, that's what's
so-
up with the boss.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Check it.
I would like some
I need
water.
water, Will, for real. Big love, my brother. What's going on, man?
Somebody be cool. After you sign in. I guess it would help if I plug my phones up so they don't die.
We always got that good music playing. It might be able to do that.
Or they could just tune in Fox Channel.
Right. Look,
You want to break
I
it
want
down
you
or
to do
the
that.
single first?
I'm here to come in.
Sit down. Come on and sit down.
So I'm gonna set her up.
How many people is there?
It's her and her son.
Her, she's the only one that's coming on the show.
Okay. What's up, Sherry? Hey, I need for y'all to come to Random Thoughts. I can't read y'all from back here.
Sitting right there. Yep.
Sit right here. Scoot over a little bit. This is gonna be loud.
Yeah. How you doing, bro? How's this going? How are you? I'm Lyle. Nice to meet you. Put your shirt.
Text stuff, huh?
We want to go to mainly Random Thoughts or Fox Track?
Oh.
Which one better? Random Thoughts or Fox Track?
It don't matter if they want to call in. Fox Trap. If they want to text me questions.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah.
I'm getting ball, yeah.
Uh-oh. Something happened.
Just a moment.
I'm too proud of it.
That's what's up. All right, now I told y'all now y'all need to come to what I say, Random Thoughts with DVP or FoxTrapRadio.com.
Especially if you're gonna comment, because he can't read the.
I can't read first of all. You know my computer talking to me in my ear.
Silly.
Kind of threw me for a loop there. Yeah, I'm blaming you for that one, Will.
What up,
I take
y'all?
all the credit.
Huh? Oh, you got a choice, because normally you make people sit over here.
What's happening?
I'm gonna put you. It's all right if I can put y'all coat. I got y'all coats on.
Oh, yeah, man. You try to
you.
tell me that every time.
I'm sorry.
No
I'd
problem.
like some water, please, Will.
Okay, I got it.
Make that too as well.
What's up?
Y'all tune in.
They're trying to get rid of that last
Line
client.
for 2 seconds. Oh, okay, thank you.
How she gonna log into the show? She's supposed to be here.
What kind of questions are you asking me there?
I'm letting you talk first. You telling us about the tech stuff.
What are the important boards and things that people may consider?
Just be prepared that this is gonna go through 2020.
Changes, or whatever. Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Great information going on for y'all. No, you can't, no. This is live. You behind the scenes and front of the scenes, all the same.
I didn't say he just hit so he don't get fined by you, Trina.
So you don't get fined by me?
Yeah. Yes. Everybody's scared of
He
you.
said, I'm just here for the comments, and so I don't get fined. I can read that.
You know what I'm saying?
He
That's
said
for you.
nothing
good. That
about
was good.
Trina.
That's
Big
for you.
E in the building. A big brother over there.
You don't get fined by you. He called you boss man. I'm not boss man.
I don't need my glass to read that. I don't even need them.
I'm glad you did that, so I don't need mine.
So you need anything special? Cause we're gonna get this over to you in a minute.
Yep, you next. You up next, honey.
You need anything special?
I have my tablet if I need to. I just jot down a few things.
Say, yeah, when you tell us that, if we get confused, we just gonna ask you questions. If someone pop up, I'll read them off of here, or you can even see them. All right, y'all finna have a tax expert in here, so if y'all got questions, the only way she gonna know is if y'all call 770-703-5494 or go to the Random Thought page and put them on the page. That's the only way she gonna be able to see them.
Yep, y'all can call in, whatever. Tina Mitchell, what's up, sir? How you doing? How's the book tour going?
Do you need a stand for your phone? Did you want to go live or if you want?
Right, I'm about to say.
Oh, she's tired.
Goodness gracious.
Put that number up there. Somebody must be calling in. What am I doing?
Okay, you want to the comments on there?
No, this is the phone line to if you wanted to give a shout out or if you had a question for the host. If you wanted to actually watch the show, just go to foxtratradio.com and then at the top just click listen live and you'll see actually what's going on now. No problem, thank you.
Did they have a wrong number?
They thought you could call in to listen to the show.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, like a podcaster?
Yeah, that's what they was
Oh.
thinking. So they was trying to see how can they watch the show.
That's on my fault. I probably ain't cleared up. Damn.
All right, just a couple things. We gotta get ready to come in. No way, Trina, you actually good. Your phone ain't even in the way.
Okay.
Just one thing. Slide your computer just a little bit closer to you.
Me?
Yeah,
Is that good?
yeah, that's cool.
Oh,
All right, if you see me go like this, that just means I need you to come closer into the microphone.
Okay.
You'll have your headphones on when we come on. We have stands also if you would like to. Go Facebook Live, Instagram if you would like to. We can give you the Wi-Fi if you needed to also, if you needed to, for your phone. I give my host hand number signals. That's just letting them know how many minutes we got until we go into commercial break. So if you're speaking at the time, you just continue on flowing and continue speaking. And then when we actually go to commercial break, you'll start hearing music slightly low up under your ear in your headphones. Again, if you're speaking, just continue to speak. The host knows when to jump in and take us to commercial break. Besides that, don't take your headphones off until you see me a thumbs up, or else you take it off, coming off, going off air. And besides that, be yourself, have fun, enjoy yourself.
And don't worry about the phone. If the phone ring, I know what it is.
Oh, yeah, the phone ring.
Sometimes it may ring. Don't pay attention.
Yeah, if the phone ring, you just keep on talking. I have to screen and do all of that stuff.
Now,
Is this cord messed up? That's why it curl like that?
It was just curled because it was blocking the camera and it came straight down. You can move.
do you see the view of Random Thoughts? Like,
No,
is that what all they say?
No, that's because I blew the screen up, so that's all we can see.
Oh, okay. Okay, I got you.
All right, let's do it, y'all. Coming in. Coming in at 5, 4, 3.
What's happening? What's happening? Guess who's black? I mean, like he's saying that. Damn, it is funny. We just happen to be black though. But guess what? We're still back. And we got a surprise. Guess she snuck in here on. She was outside knocking on the door. For those of y'all who all know like Dino was doing it, they put him out on the Flintstones. I know some of y'all don't know nothing about the Flintstones. Just trust me, it's funny. So we got the beautiful Honey Landers in here. Me and her got a long story, but I'm gonna let her introduce herself, and then we're gonna do one little quick thing, and we're gonna get to you, Miss Landers.
Okay.
Tell them who you are.
Hi guys, I'm Honey Landers, and I'm the owner of Chase Tax Associates LLC.
Oh, stop! Come on! Keep going!
I've been preparing taxes since I was 17 years old, so I know a little bit about the game. And I just want to give you a couple of tips to let you know what's going on and what will be going on throughout 2020.
All right.
I like that. She's She's so, what's the good word? I'm gonna let y'all know, it's more to her than that. But I like that she's playing the super professional role. But
Right.
before we get into that, we wanna have one more, so we wanna, how do I do I wanna, let's just do the taxes first.
We can't let her leave without shouting out her other stuff though.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna get to that. I'm gonna let her do the this season stuff first. Then we're gonna get to the other stuff that she like she don't want to talk about. But I don't even care because I got my bullet jacket in the back. So tell us some things we need to know about the taxes that will affect us that we don't know about yet.
Well, the first thing, I just want you guys to be prepared and understand that under this current administration, everything that's in place now will be in place until 2020. So, for starters, I get a lot of, should I file? Yes, you should file. Regardless of whether you think you should file or you shouldn't file, please file, because it could come back to bite you, in the end. The second thing I get is, how does it work? How does the EIC work? How does the child tax credit, the CTC works? So this year, the EIC and the CTC, you won't get both of those credits. Normally one is the EIC is the earned income credit, the
Okay, there
CTC
you
is
go.
the child tax
Okay.
credit. Okay. And now they have an ODC, which is a other dependent credit. And the earned income credit, you normally get that. You can get that without filing a dependent. But normally is if you have a dependent 17 years of age or younger. Okay. The child tax credit normally is just basically for the children. Everybody, you may or you may not get earned income credit, but you can get it without a dependent. The other thing is the ODC, which is the other dependent credit. Say, for instance, you have a brother, sister living in your home, you take care of them, or even if you have your parents in your home and you live there, you take care of them, but that limit is $500. What I do want to say too is with the earned income credit and the CTC, the earned income credit now has risen to $2,400. That's what you'll get per child, quote unquote. You won't necessarily get that amount. It depends upon your AGI, which is your adjusted gross income. So it just all depends on.
And I saw something that they changed the age of children now. There had to be a child 16 or under, or is that just a rumor?
Well, in the system it calculates 17 and under.
Okay.
So the child, if that child is 17 in that year, you can still get the earned income credit. Again, you may not get the full credit.
Right.
And regardless of whatever the age is, you may not get the credit. Other factors are, does the child live with you 12 months of the year? Does the child live with you 6 months of the year? So it's a lot of things. Let me know what you guys want to talk about.
So far, are returns bigger or smaller? That's the question, because I've seen a lot of people complain, I've seen a lot of people happy.
It's a lot of complaints this year. Honestly, this has been one of the worst years for me, meaning not my clientele, just having to explain this over and over and over again to my clients, because they don't grasp this. They think because they got a large return last year, they're automatically going to get one this year.
Right.
Even if nothing changed. They work the same job, make the same money,
Right.
just
So
That's
what is
people
it that's
won't
causing
understand,
them
yes.
to get lower?
the administration, what the administration has in place. So again, you have to look at the earned income credits, child tax credits. You won't get both, you'll get one or the other. Other dependent care credit, you're able to get that. Another thing too is the bracket. Just say for instance, someone who makes $80,000 a year may get $694 back in tax return. And that's an example because that's one that I've had.
Right.
But last year, they got $5,000 back
Right.
in federal. They don't understand why.
Right.
But
That's a huge.
that's a
yes,
huge,
it is.
I have so
And
many.
people bank so much on their tax
Yeah.
returns, you do bills, or you say, I'm gonna pay off when I get my tax return, I'm gonna catch up for Christmas, when I get my tax return, or you might be trying to make an investment or get a house, A lot of people bank on that money, and you do, assume what you're gonna get because of your previous year, and especially, like you said, if nothing changes, people be like, what?
Right.
With that kind of
That's a
gap or
problem. Yeah,
breakdown,
that's
that's so.
I've had a few clients who, I won't say they were upset with me per se, but like I told them, I've been dealing with you over 10 years. I won't lead you astray. I'll give you before I take anything from you.
Right.
So it's not that it's me, it's just the system. And we must we gotta stay into this. We gotta learn, we have to follow these things. We follow everything else on social medias. We follow
Right.
everything
Right.
else in the news. You have to know your business when it comes to your taxes. You must.
I see your struggle now. At first, when you were saying people got mad at you or whatever, but when it goes from that amount to that amount and there is no change in them, what they think, you got to be doing something. You know what I
You're
mean?
right.
Especially with a big drop. So then, because we don't self-educate ourselves enough, and you try to explain over and over and over, and if they're not getting, I can see it. I can see it.
So
yeah.
it takes a toll. It takes a mental toll
Yes,
as
that's what I
well.
mean.
And for me, it takes a toll because I want to teach everybody that I can. I don't just get a client in and just have them. You know, I want to educate you on what you're doing and what you should do. When I tell you do not go exempt, please don't go exempt. Key thing, those people who saw those big, like
Returns on money.
the monies throughout the year. Remember when the people was talking
Right.
about the jobs gave them, oh my,
Right.
my check. See, that was a trick. That was a part of your income.
Right.
Return right there. So
Right.
you have to look at it. Make sure you look at your W-4s. Make sure your withholdings are correct. Don't just go in there and put 10, 9, 20 people just because you don't. This is gonna bite you in the end.
Okay, so let me ask you a question, because one of the things I used to always do was always file zero, because I wanted my money back at the end. So I never claimed anybody, not myself, nobody, because I wanted them to take the taxes out, because I notoriously filed my taxes in June, because I've never owed money. I take about old money one time, I owed like $27 and I almost became a fugitive. Because I make sure I pride myself on that. I'd rather overpay than, because you know, once they hit you with it, them fines compound.
The interest.
They say monthly, whatever. That interest compounds hourly. You know, you go from owning $1 when you file to by the time you get that letter back from them, it's $180. It's like it's been 3 days. So it's like I don't ever want to. So I want to make sure I overpay. So for somebody like me who always files zero, how is that? Is that affecting me negatively, or you ain't got that far yet?
It depends on your AGI.
Okay.
But again, I will tell people, file what you have. If you have 2 dependents, file those 2 dependents. If you don't have 10 dependents, do not file 10 dependents.
Right, because that's what a lot of people do, file and then
File
not
with
worry about it.
cousins,
And see,
they-
this year, under this administration, it's proof that even if you do everything the right way, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're gonna get your money back in return.
Right.
So I would just tell people, just don't count on this money. You never know from one year to the next whether we will even have tax return.
Right.
Mm.
And that's one of the things that as we talk about things in our culture, it bothers me that people depend so much on tax returns, because you don't know what you never know what the government is going to do, and people talking about, I got to do this. Why are we planning so much on tax? I mean, there are other ways to save money than to sit back and hope that you're going to get it. 'Cause
But
the
people have
government
become
always
so
return-
accustomed to getting
That's what
them,
it
you know,
is,
they
they
just
have it.
think it's automatic. They're gonna get their taxes.
Right, then we complain about how we want to cut our dependency. But, and I view a tax return as a nice bonus if it comes. If it don't come, guess what? My bill's gonna
Still
still,
be all right.
and which is one thing with the holidays. We overspend for Christmas hoping that Uncle Sam gonna make up for it. And I still, those of y'all who got mad at me, if you gotta file your tax return on February 1st, you already living the wrong life. You overspend it and you know it. For those who have to rush and do it, to me that's just an issue when you have to do it, because you're basing so much on hope and prayer that you know you overspend.
I file in August.
And like I said, the earliest I've ever filed was May. And last year we filed August. Because I don't care. I want my money back when everybody through spending.
Right.
I want to take me a cruise later. Yeah, I mean, that was always my game plan, to take a cruise later. Everybody else spending their money, can't go nowhere because everybody out there flexing, renting rims, renting purses, renting eyelashes and contact lenses, but that's a whole nother story. So yeah, I mean, that's good information. Like I said, one of the things that I heard was they actually...
Side note, I'll lay off the lashes, okay?
Oh, but you ain't renting yours, are you?
No,
Okay.
paid for, I just want to let you know.
I'm surrounded by
It look good over here. I don't really
Did
got to put aside.
you know he's a makeup specialist?
No.
We'll get into that. One of the things I also heard is they actually, the new law is actually making you work harder, because you got to do more paperwork
And explain and all that.
than you did before, and it's almost like they want you to go up on your prices to make it worse for clients. Is any truth to that?
There is some truth to that. Now we have Schedule A, Schedule 1, Schedule 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We didn't have those things before. Now they've cut the pages like the Schedule A and the Schedule A worksheet. All of that used to be combined pretty much
Right.
on one page, between 1 to 3 sheets. Now it's like 6, 9 sheets. And then when you look at it, I have this much information on one sheet. This much, like this much. And it's just that much. And it can be a lot. If you're not in this, it can be a lot for you. And yes, they do want you to raise your prices.
Right.
I just stay with the same prices. I don't, and honestly, this year I've gone down on my prices.
Okay, that's what's up.
Just because of what's going on with the situation.
That's what's up. We're gonna take a quick break. I want you to come back and you taking clients. Oh, I mean, for tax season, I'm saying,
I just finished.
I know, but those are already clients. I'm saying if you want to let people know that they can come to you, I'm just saying.
Absolutely.
Okay, we're gonna get that. We're gonna get that when we come back from the break. We're gonna take a quick break. Y'all get your questions ready,
Promo going.
and let's see what we got going. Random
Yeah.
thoughts with EVP and
Random
Miss
thoughts.
Honey Landers, the underspoken who don't want to say everything, but I got this. I know what she do. All right, we'll be right back.
You right back? What up, Milani? Jackie, what's going on? Big B, the fashion icon.
I like the icon attack you throw back here. You give him that good look right there one time. Let him know I like that right there.
It's awful this year. I'm trying
Son,
to be real
okay,
tactful, but it's awful this year. It
What?
really
Jackie, how
is.
you
But
doing?
I mean, that's because.
Appreciate y'all for watching, getting some great
Like, you know,
tips. A lot of
Cause I
stylists,
got to check out in you
artists,
for like
we're
probably 20
independent
years, and he was giving me some. He
business
can't drive at
people.
night,
We gotta
and he was like, he
know
said, man, he
what's
said,
taxes, 'cause we
you used to be this much paperwork, now it's this much, so they want me to raise my prices, knowing your tax returns are always going to be smaller. He said they make it really hard on prepared
tips on that.
because they want you to do way more work.
Random
It's
thoughts.
like, man, what I used to do in 3 minutes now it's taking me 45 minutes just because of the paperwork they send to me.
Yeah, I don't think.
Right, well, and that's what he doing. But he's like, you know, that's part of what they doing to try to make. It's like they trying to make you be the bad guy.
He said he just did for the comments, so he don't get
Yeah,
fined.
we ain't paying him no attention.
Yeah, we don't pay him no mind.
All right, for those of y'all watching it, y'all need to go to Random Thoughts with DVP if you want to comment, because I can't read on the Darren Bill pages. It's way too small.
Thank you, son, for your comment.
And as y'all can see, I'm far back. I see y'all. What's up? What's up? What's up? Go to Random Thoughts with DVP or go to FoxRadio.com and go to the live feed, and we're there. Come see what's going on with Miss Honey Lands as we're gonna storm up. We're gonna talk about some more stuff.
Random thoughts, GP.
I got my bullet squad. You see they got the red on. We're a gang today.
Okay,
Right,
okay.
we all
I
on the
hope that's
same
for the heart.
game.
Yeah, that's what it is, the heart.
Yeah.
They some heart snatchers.
Heart gang in the building.
We like the little cupids, you know, we trying to spare some love.
You know what I'm saying? What's
Yeah,
up?
yeah,
Take your chest out.
y'all saw that, right?
What's up, Carl Drinkle?
I had the heart in the pyramid.
You had a heart on a pyramid.
Yeah.
What is the pyramid mean?
Don't let
Crack
Illuminati's.
That was a crack symbol. Crack baby.
I had to make sure my baby girl made it home from work.
We're working. No diggity. Y'all need to go on FoxShotRadio.com. Y'all get this killer music we got playing in the ear. See, we
Brian,
don't
why ain't
play other
y'all
music.
coming to
We got
Random
work.
Thoughts? You know, I can't see you. What's up, Mike?
Y'all can stay
Philip?
tuned and keep
What's up,
rocking with
Michelle?
us.
Y'all making me work way too hard.
Right,
Way too
right,
hard.
right,
What's
right.
up, Eric?
Yeah, go check him. Lamont, what up? What up? I don't know why I'm
What's up, Kelly? You know you're on the wrong page. Y'all gonna make me put y'all in time out. Brian, what's crack a lacking? I ain't did that, so don't be having nobody come look for me.
Got my boy Donald.
Dichotomy, what's going on? Hey man, you know I got you down. What's up, Chloe? I gotta figure out how to get y'all on the Sparkle. What's going
I
on?
understand why people who don't speak English send your friend requests live.
Cause they want to learn English. What's up, Candy? What's up, Fluella?
I be looking like they have the little boxes of the people. I'm like, how?
What is that?
How did this algorithm happen? Like,
Right.
So I see what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have to bring my phone up close to make y'all go to Random Thoughts or FoxShotRadio.com because y'all be trying to talk. No, I can't see. And I can't read. I
Well,
don't
this
know
is the
what's
first.
going
This
on.
is the first time you did that, so you know
We get them acclimated next
we're
week.
used to
Bro.
tuning in.
This wasn't a question and answer
This
session.
is, no, he just asked for our
I'm a
opinion
little
on that. Listen to
confused.
that. He said he listened to that.
Yeah, I kind of don't care that he didn't ask.
Look, I ain't
I
listen to
volunteer
him either.
anyway.
Mhm.
You think he the only
I
believer?
thought you're right. I thought it was weird in the beginning. He said he was gonna do it like that, so now I'm trying to
I mean,
be behind him.
I think
Ain't
it's
no
cool
trouble.
because you know that's kind of the view that he's
This-
really always
right.
wanted. So
Just gotta get your people over.
yeah, because they don't know. They're used to tuning
Yeah,
in.
well,
It's
like I
so
said, it's getting them to understand that Darren and DVP are the same people. Unlike some busters, I don't have a fake
Yes,
page with a whole
you
fake
gotta
name
see
talking
what's
about I'm an activist.
I'm not live yet, so he can't see it.
You doing the cake?
And unless he followed
Nah,
the
some dude
advice.
gonna tell me
Yeah,
to
some
Google
dude.
him under a fake name, tell me he's an activist.
Tell me, look me up. So he was like, okay, I Googled you and I can't find you. He's like, that's not my real name. What?
But, but he claimed he an activist, but on his page he want a woman staff. Dude,
Yeah.
what kind of
All because she voted for Trump.
Cause she
He
really
wants somebody to
Trump.
stab her. Somebody he condones. He's an advocate for violence on men and women.
But you asking somebody to stab her? Dude,
That's down with the Trump
you a
agenda.
coward.
Foxtrot Radio.
Like Tyrese say he love his black queens and everything, but get a white girl.
Man,
What up?
Y'all
Yeah.
ready?
Oh, we stay ready.
Let's do
You got
it.
some more for me?
Let's do it.
I mean, whatever you want to talk about.
You got anything else about taxes?
I mean, it's a lot about taxes. You just have the question.
Yeah,
have to
but
be
specific.
solved.
So pretty much the question is, are we ready to move on from taxes? We are. Okay, so let me go
Tax
live now.
questions, financing questions, y'all type them in. I'll try to get them to Miss Honey, see what we can discuss, you know. Thank you, sir. Kill it.
You bringing the product?
Okay,
Product.
Don't look at me like that.
What kind of product? What kind of
Honestly, I'm
product
telling
you
you,
got?
my last.
You got a car, right? With a trunk, right?
Oh, damn. So
You got, I'm just saying. I'm
I
just.
made it.
There's no right
I made
way
it,
to do it.
okay?
You got a car with a trunk.
I made it, right? I made it, right?
See, and this is what this is what I like to tell
I
women.
made it, right?
Right, that's right.
Because-
Keep on
I
your
made
point.
it, right?
Because of my
See,
shallowness, I
I
date pretty
appreciate-
women.
I
So when
appreciate
they,
the invitation.
when they,
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you good. I just moved.
when they give me that look, because I'm used to pretty women. Look at, look. Hey, don't face me. Look at the picture now.
That's
I want you to make sure you see you.
Uh-huh. Got you right there.
All right, let's do it, y'all.
All right, we coming back.
Can you move your water bottle closer to you?
Yeah, I just never move close to you.
All right, coming in at 5, 4, 3.
And guess what? Nobody left. Nobody came in. We still here. Me, Mr. Moore,
Yes, sir.
the Hellraiser train,
I'm not a hellraiser. Don't believe him.
and Honey. That's all I'm saying. I'm just gonna say Honey. Because y'all, we was almost in the fight, but we didn't show that part because she was trying to flex on me. But I get it. All right, so y'all got any questions about tax now? She gonna be
Tax
here.
questions, come on.
The number is 770-703-5494. We're gonna tie that into what we're going to, because we've been having a little issue. But you know what? Because we was talking about some of the social economic injustices, and when we do get tax money, all we do is blow it.
Quickly.
But let me just do one real quick so I can put Honey on the spot, and then I'm gonna let Trim Marie do her thing.
I got a thing to do.
Yeah.
I didn't know I had a thing to do.
I'm so tired of flexing. All right, so we seen the whole thing with Gucci, and I'm gonna stand by my post. As long as Dollar Tree don't do nothing, see if Dollar Tree do something, oh man, I'm gonna have a problem because we're gonna boycott for real. But I don't buy Gucci. Most people who I know got Gucci got it from the flea market, so they was already secretly boycotting anyway. But why do we care about Gucci? I don't have a problem with Floyd Mayweather. Maybe that was his goal in life, to be able to afford stuff that his friends couldn't afford because he grew up like he grew up. Who cares? One of my real issues is T.I. stood up, and I applaud you, T.I. But T.I., you from here. Why weren't you supporting black designers anyway? Why were you supporting Gucci? That's my problem. And speaking of black designers, see, one of my guests just happens to design stuff. As a matter of fact, all three of everybody who's sitting here, except for me, actually all four of us have black businesses. I have a security company. Trim Marie has a crochet? I don't want to call it. What would you call it?
Handmade.
She makes handmade. She handmakes garden. Lyle does makeup and more.
Yep.
Honey designs things. So there are so many black people that you can get stuff from. Why are we even sweating these other people? And we get these tax returns. Who are we getting stuff from? But we complain about where our dollar go. And I tell you, understand, you can't boycott somebody who ain't dependent on our dollar.
Right.
So
It's not gonna hurt them. It's not gonna
Right.
have any
but
effect.
we're not their clientele anyway.
Right.
We not spending the.
Didn't
Gucci-
Tommy Hilfiger say that? We
No,
talked
that was
about-
just a rumor.
That was a rumor, yeah.
But Gucci ain't looking for the hood person. Gucci looking for T.I. Gucci looking for Floyd Mayweather.
Exactly.
We want to boycott places that mean they don't care if we show up or not. we not really even icing on the cake. So when we keep talking about how much money we spend, it's actually how much money we throwing away. I don't know how much Honey makes because it's not my business. But she design. She do hella design. You know, if I was a little bit more flashy, I would let her do some stuff, and I do this modeling thing. I got a couple of things I'm gonna let her do for me. But she does stuff. It's on the page. Your page is
Fam Custom Designs.
custom, which means yours is one of a kind. She ain't just
Right,
putting out
exactly.
multiple products of the same thing. Now, if you want,
And everybody go get it.
you know, unfortunately,
I don't stock.
right. Unfortunately, she ain't did nothing. I want to say I saw something one time in Patriot color, but
go.
I don't know. But she like to do kids and stuff. But hey, I understand. She's a businesswoman. She got to do what the clients ask for.
May I explain something? I don't mean to interject, but let me just explain this to you once again.
See how she did that?
The only reason I don't post Patriots items is because those fans don't purchase those things for me. I do not.
I just said that.
I do not create until my invoice is
That's right.
paid.
I said that.
So if you want something,
I got a Patriot blanket I'm gonna give you.
whomever you may be out there in this world, then just get at me, Fam
Right.
Custom Design.
He gets it because like I won't make anything either.
Yeah.
So you gotta
And you
give me money.
understand.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
understand
Pay me
But that's what I
first,
said.
and then
So
we go.
if you got something that you want, go check out her page, send her the thing, and go from there. But so you can get your own stuff upgraded. You can go.
Her stuff is hot.
You can
too.
go to Marshalls.
It's nice. It's
you,
very nice.
You can go somewhere else and send it to her and let her make it and let her bling it out.
Right.
I'm gonna give her
right,
credit.
right.
Some of the stuff she do, man, them boots with that team on there. Oh my goodness, them boots was FIYAAAA.
I'm like,
No,
what? What you
no.
saying there?
Yeah.
I was a little stupid for a minute.
So,
Texting
but
term.
I model. Every designer that I've modeled for to date has been a black designer.
Yep.
Every one of them. Even when I model for Dwight Eubanks, his stuff still don't cost what Gucci costs. It's expensive for me. That's what I model. It's nice.
It's nice.
So why is it that we so intent on dealing with people who don't value us? I can't see. Oh, why are we so intent on dealing with people who don't value us and think that it matters? So when we're talking about the system and how it works, it only works with people who we care about. She cares about you. She will say you don't have stuff sitting in the closet.
I don't.
She make it as you send it to her.
Exactly.
Trina does custom orders. No two faces are the same.
Nope.
Now I do security, I do have stock prices. But all I do is security. But I will custom design a plan for your business.
Yep.
But it's too many ways that we can do it and we get this money. You know, I made a post where and you know, it's funny that this year happened, but if 10 people got $2,000, they could get together and do damage. If 10 people got $2,000, they got together and did group economics with some artists, they could do big damage. And I tell you, all four of us, we could all have businesses. We could all buy a building and put all four of our businesses in there, as opposed to me having a building, Trina having a building. And we don't ever get that because we're so competitive. We don't want people to be around us. Or if Honey finds a building, we're going to fuss because Honey's rent is a little bit cheaper, but she did all the legwork. And we're so competitive for the wrong reasons when it's money to be made. Because it's easier for me to pay $100 rent her than for me to pay $500 for my
I
own.
just want to say this real quick. If you on foxtratradio.com, some of her items are scrolling across the
Oh, yeah.
screen.
Yeah, check it.
Super hot.
And the shoe that y'all can't see if y'all looking at it is a shoe that was actually in the NFL. What was it, Cincinnati Bengals?
Yes.
So, and she put it on. So we got people who do this.
That was
And
for the
When
cleats
it-
for
yeah.
calls.
when 30 days they get to wear the cleats of their choice. So these are things that we could do.
Oh, yeah, I see.
So as we get towards socio-economic injustices, we're so concerned about people who ain't concerned about us. That's crazy. That is the most insane thing you could ever do. Lyle does stuff with Mac. Who's Mac's real client? Who are they looking for? Because Mac ain't cheap.
Well, that's a
It's
misconception. but
affordable.
It's affordable, but usually, and the way it came out was for makeup artists. That's what
art.
it's saying is for. So them and the higher end clientele. That's kind of like who, and that's what he's saying. Who was it really originated for? And so I understand that, and I understand what you're saying. When if it's not going to affect those people, our
Right.
little dollars, we got to do something that's going to affect us. So now, as he's talked about us basing all of our money and worrying about our tax returns and things like that, and getting in that, but why don't we all, because we're gonna get a nice tax return, take that and re-put it into black businesses instead of going blowing it at the mall?
Shifting the paradigm.
Exactly.
And let me say this, because I'm a big fan of this. Not just shifting the black business, shifting it into good black businesses.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what we have to. That's where we have to stop saying just do stuff black just because it's black. Because some black stuff is crappy. I put a list of names. I don't care how you feel about them. I don't like them. You can't make me. Some black businesses are the same way. They overprice themselves. They overvalue themselves. At some point, when you first start off, you can't charge the same thing because you got to get clients in
Right,
first.
yeah.
And a lot of black businesses don't understand that. You can't just
You have
start
to
off charging.
build
Yeah,
your
let your
reputation.
reputation get there.
Right.
Then you got it made. But you want to just start. Oh, I know it is word. Well, buy it from yourself. You know, and we were talking. Unfortunately, truth be told, a lot of us can't. Your businesses. Do you have a brick and mortar business?
No.
And I don't have a brick and mortar.
I
Trina,
did.
do you have one?
No.
But it cuts down our expenses. So in theory, if we buy into this, to me it's retarded that you support the community. Most businesses that are black small businesses are not in community. They're in homes because they're trying to build. So you got to get us there. You know, you want to go to these places that we say don't shop from places that won't hire us. Well, a lot of times, how many people does it take to do your job?
Me.
It's just her. For Trina, it's just her. For me, I got 10 employees. How many employees you got?
Oh, I got a few assistants. It just depends on the size
Right.
of the job. that
So
I'm doing.
right, but you hire them based on the job, and that's how I do mine. So we have to look at that, but we have to get to good businesses.
Well, I have a comment from Tommy Biles. He said the first form of black support has to start at home with love, self-taught. I'm sorry, I'm messing up your comment. Love of self-taught and given from the mother and father and taught to love our black brothers and sisters and trust one another. That's the hard part, and it really is. That's the hard part. We don't trust each other. One trying to get over or outdo the other. If these things could change, then black support will be strong and solid. Just my opinion. And you know, one of the things that you talked about before was how you know, like everybody kind of like buy not a strip mall, but you know, like the little plazas how they have.
Strip mall.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay,
yes.
strip mall. And then, you know, we all pay the rent or whatever it is, the rent, right? We all pay the rent, so then that way we can split this, we don't have to worry
when
about.
we get to numbers, when he said 10, sorry to say, but probably never happened. We probably take 5 people, but then that's where the whole trust is. If I got these 10 people, okay, we trust that they're gonna do what they need to do each month, let's pay this, do this. And then we get that stinking thinking and somebody's worried about what the other person is doing. That's why a lot of it probably does start in the home and what you're teaching your kids about business and we teaching ourselves about the community and the unity, because how are we gonna get to trust one another?
Right, but if we were to get one of those strip malls, everybody have a different business, a different type of business, you know, you could make it like a one-stop shop and you're still
Right.
shopping with your own people.
And the benefit of that is with the 10 people, if somebody can't make it, the other one still support it, because what you're building is capital. You're not, if the rent is $1,000, all 10 people aren't paying 100, because then you're just covering. You still make them charge more as you build up, so if one leaves, it's still there. Because if individually they would have paid $500 for rent, you're knocking that out, so everybody can still make money and still grow. Because now, when Trina can do something and she can say, hey, you know what? If you want a little flock of this, you know, take it down to Honey Shop. She
That's right.
can blow this
That's
up
right,
for you,
yeah.
and then we can all. And our trust issues come from something way deeper. Because yeah, it is hard for us to trust initially.
That's
and
big. That's
one
a
of the
big
things
part.
that I tell you, and you get bad service too many times, we're quiet, go on and blast them, and then don't go back.
Right.
What we tend to do is we try to force people to show that we can spend them. Like somebody said, oh yeah, I went in there and I bought a pair of Louis Vuitton shoes just to show that little chick I could afford them. That's gotta be
Who did you hurt?
Right.
Who did you affect?
Like
Who did you hurt?
we're forcing them
So-
to take our money just to prove a point.
But you got the disrespectful salesperson a commission, and that was
Right.
supposed to make her do
I'll
what?
take my money
It
elsewhere.
showed how stupid you were. But we're gonna come back. So be ready, y'all. Come on, we got some more stuff. We're gonna get it because Honey got some issues, and we're gonna get her. We're gonna get a little talk. She in the shot. She making out to be. All right, random thoughts with DVP. We'll be right back.
More in the building.
Yeah, I'm trying to
I need to clarify something.
Yes.
When I said just me, my family.
Yeah, but that's what I want to say.
Still
That-
self-employed
It's
in the
the-
house.
right.
and
Yeah.
everything
It's
like
in
that.
the house.
Yeah, but that-
I just
but-
want to make
it's a
sure.
family business.
But you know, people
Wayne
always say,
Brady style.
huh?
He's a Wayne's brother style.
Yeah, when we say, you know, can you, because most of us can't hire a lot of people. But that's not what most small
It's my
businesses are built
immediate
on.
family, my children and my husband.
Because even the convenience stores, most of them
That's
are
how you can
family.
do it.
Hey, Darren. Now I can talk to y'all. We
When
on
you go to
break.
some of the restaurants, they're all family. They not
Great time,
really high
Karen,
from
what's
community.
up?
That's somebody was trying to get the dough boys.
Joy, what's
trying to
happening?
get
How
in
you
my
doing? How
grocery
you
store.
doing? Renee, I know you're in there, man. What's up? How are you?
Yeah, I wanted to bring a piece, you know, my favorite, but I was rushing the client out.
That's fine. We're gonna have
Aubrey,
we're
what's
gonna
up,
have
man?
another highlight show where you
Appreciate
get you don't
checking
get
in,
windows to
bro.
put in the trunk of your
Appreciate it,
car.
Appreciate the love, man. I see you always doing something.
Since the
good.
trunk is always with
You
you.
know I'm always checking
Did you do
in.
your phone?
Leave me alone, Darren.
Did you do the phone?
Oh, yeah.
So you got a picture with just flexing.
No, you know what? I don't even,
You don't even think about it.
I don't. Honestly, I don't.
Like what he had up there, they go in and take out like them high heels shoes.
Oh,
and boots
Yeah, like
and
a
all that.
Falcon shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
I
Tim's-
like
I
that.
don't have a
Well,
favorite
no.
team or anything. So.
The Who They chick from Cincinnati. One of my girls started that group. Sunji Rogers. She's from there.
See,
but she
those
lived
right
there
there?
for a long time.
She did those.
Oh my God, where did you find those?
What? You must have did them a long time ago.
Yes.
Yeah, them,
Them right there,
I,
them was the joints.
I saw them Falcon shoes. I was like,
I
oh,
did those shoes in 2009.
oh wow.
That heel?
Yeah.
Wow.
When you was playing with sending me pictures, I was
Wow.
like, man, let me just go. I'm fine.
Oh my goodness.
She playing, gonna send me.
And see, I don't even have that picture on my phone anymore. You got that on Facebook?
Yeah, it's on Facebook.
Wow.
You don't even know what you posted.
Just
It
give me what you want.
just scroll down so far that you forgot
Yeah,
about it.
yeah, that's
Wow.
what it is. And being busy with other
That's those
things.
anniversary Facebooks. Remember?
You see them right there?
On this day.
This is
Yeah, when I seen
Yeah,
the
it
picture
was
when you sitting in there, I was
Thank
like,
you.
damn, them things.
Especially
cold.
seeing what she took them from and then what
Hey.
she made them.
Yes,
It's like,
right.
wow.
I was like, oh my goodness.
Like,
And when I
she
got
did
them,
the
Extreme house makeover.
Yeah,
type
she
right
did. She
there,
the
like,
truth.
Hey,
that
But you-
led to like 7 other pair of shoes.
You
Like,
saw it?
just to
Right,
restore
but
them.
you see,
Wow.
you saw what she put. She said, "I know it hurt you to put this. It did hurt me to put that, but
So
I know.
when I put that on the page when I was telling her to come,
Oh,
I put them on the
because you
random
don't
thought
like the
page.
fact-
Yeah, I
it,
knew
it, it hurt.
I know.
Thanks, Robert.
You know, but hey, business is business. I'm here to promotion.
How you doing today?
Thank you.
Trying to give my Facebook people some love. I don't usually
Ready
go
in 2
live. I don't
minutes,
like being on
everybody.
camera. I really don't.
Come right back. Yeah, my son texted me. I was gonna get that.
Hey, Carl, how you doing?
Look at
See,
that.
but you ain't sharing none of that.
Oh, see, that's hot.
Karen says, what's the
That's
subject?
really
The
hot.
subject
Yeah, that's my
today
baby.
Look at it.
is
It's just
financing.
blinking. You
Awesome.
see all the lights?
Oh, let's see
flickering.
this
We're
picture.
gonna drip for
Oh,
this
watch it.
side.
Show me that. Show me
300?
that. Hold it up.
She like, yeah. I mean, I get it, but
Oh, look at this. She does a bling effect. She blings
That
out.
is so
Y'all see
hot.
that? Can all my Facebook people see that? Falcons gear, she does that. So she blings out custom, what do you call it? Custom additions or enhancements? What do you call it?
Custom bling.
She just
Custom bling.
beautifies it.
Okay. Yeah.
She take from Dollar
Yeah,
Tree
that's
straight
right.
to
If y'all go to
I'll take it.
foxtrotradio.com, I love y'all all my
If you
days.
think
but
it, I can
if
create
y'all
it.
Yeah.
go to foxtrotradio.com, you'll
yeah,
see
you are,
so
you,
much
you are
stuff
very,
going
You'll be
very
with it.
meticulous and very,
She tight
very
with
nice.
it.
I'm like, I can't believe this is
Real tight.
handmade.
It was a lot of
We got
small
one
bet.
phone call
Septic
to
is
come in till we
finance.
come back in.
She is
And
very
were those like,
finance.
Right,
And,
right.
what do you call them, Swarovski?
she breaking it down
No,
for
I
us.
don't use those. I only use those if the client wants to pay.
Okay,
That's
because they
Yeah.
are
what
expensive.
it's like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
that's
use
it.
glass. I use glass. The glass is like a notch under,
Okay.
but they're still like
I
a
see
bag, probably about this big. I'll tell you, for 14 40 stones in there, and they're $45. Yeah, and you can use that just like that.
Yeah,
Y'all ready?
Think about
especially with the
2 or 3 different
detail.
colors on one item.
I'm liking that football.
Coming back.
That football
I'm
time.
gonna have to
I'm not
give
sure
you
it's
Yeah,
all
unless
stuff.
my brother always
You send
checking
them to my
in,
phone,
man. I need all
Now,
makeup you
what's
got
that?
going
What's
on.
Coming
that?
in.
You know I'm doing it
I
too,
had some
so
stuff.
I'm gonna call you.
You said
Dallas
Trina got
Christopher.
some stuff.
D.
I'm saying, no,
Dallas
we had
Christopher
a
is in the
shopping
building.
mall. When they came to you, they.
no. You said never mind.
Oh,
Forget it.
yeah, yeah, you
Coming in over there. We got
I
a phone
am.
call person in coming in. Coming in. 5, 4, 3.
Guess who's back? And we still here. And we came back. We gonna go on straight to the caller. Caller, welcome to Random Thoughts with DVP. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Calling you live.
Hello?
What's happening?
Oh, yes. Hi. This is Trina Marie.
Hey, it is. How you doing?
I'm fine. This is Adonis Floyd from Facebook.
What's good with you, Adonis?
I'm fine. I just talking to you.
talking to everybody, bro.
You talking? Yeah, you talking to everybody.
What's your question, Chief?
Watch out. Watch what you say, bro. Watch what you say, bro. That's what keep it clean.
So you wanted to know something. What did you want to know about?
No, you called. Did you have a question or a comment?
I'm recording. Well, actually, it was in reference to something that we were talking about earlier as far as men in domestic situations. And she asked if I could call in and was a comment about it, or if you had any questions about it.
Oh, we're actually not doing that
About my
show today.
situation.
Caller,
I mean,
caller.
like,
We're not doing that show today, Adonis. I was actually wanting to, gather up some people for that. That's an idea that I have.
and that's what I was trying to find out. That's why I called the number. So I apologize.
Oh, that's cool.
No problem, bro.
That's all
No
good.
problem.
Well,
Appreciate
thanks
you
for calling
in.
anyway.
Yep, we got through.
I'll make sure she lets you know when we do that one.
I'll be great. I mean, I'd love to elaborate about it and help anybody.
And I'm definitely going to hit you up when we do that one for
Appreciate
sure.
it. Appreciate your info.
All right.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Thank you, too. Bye.
All right, so on the break, y'all admit, she honey got some stuff in her phone. She's so evil. She Taliban. She got some
Whoa.
stuff on her
But
phone.
they can go
that's
check
the
her page
truth.
out, Fam Custom Designs.
Fam Custom-
Right, right,
Yeah,
right.
custom-
Everybody needs your
custom
information
designs.
for tax purposes and for your family.
Yeah, give us
I
some
had-
tax
I had-
information how they
yeah,
can,
we want the whole
even though you
demo.
fool.
Yeah, we want the whole demo. Break it
Did you
all
bring a
down
card?
for us.
I did not.
It's all right.
My tax information is Chase Tax Associates LLC.
Spell
You
Chase
can
for me,
reach
because I know it ain't the common spelling.
CHAEIS. And you can reach me on Facebook, Instagram. Also for the customization, you can reach me at famcustoms@gmail.com or reach out to me on Facebook.
All right.
And you'll see this again. She all business of the week on Random Thoughts. So you'll see some more of this information. She gonna shoot me them pictures. She gonna let y'all look at the phone right quick. As she flashed up, she did the phone herself. The phone case. Go on and flash it up right quick. She did. How long ago did you do this?
Maybe about a couple of months ago.
Okay, so but she got some more stuff. So y'all will get to see some of the stuff she did. She gonna shoot me some updated pictures. Like she did something for the NFL. Y'all should see this football she did. Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
yeah, that's tight.
That football is off the chain. If she ever had it on the streets, I'm calling my boy, because we gonna be a hit and run. If she ever let it see daylight and fresh air, I'm just saying mine up front. I'm gonna get that. That was,
It's
oh my
in a
goodness.
case, it's in a case.
Yeah, I
It
need
ain't
to know.
bad, but I got a little strength going. But as we're talking about some of the social economic injustice, again, we can support our own people. And we don't have to worry about other people what do. We tend to get so offended by everything as we are just as offensive, but for some reason it's okay for us to be offensive and be offended. I'm kind of confused with that. With that, pick a battle. Either be offended by something and don't do it, or as a matter of fact, just quit being offended. There ain't much that we can't overcome. We've been overcoming for years. If somebody do something you don't like, quit supporting them. You can
Right.
find somebody else, but quit trying to force people to. All of us don't like all of each other, so why should anybody else like all of us? So as we're doing things, and this is why I'm gonna let Trin redo her thing, because if y'all want a good verbal sparring match,
Okay, put on the spot. You know what I'm supposed to do. Why am I here
because
today?
she didn't know she was gonna be on the show. And we're doing a lot of discussions about social injustice, and people want to get mad. Well, we always complain. Well, if you don't complain, you can keep accepting bullshit. If something ain't right, you got to complain. But what we do is we don't ever complain without coming up with some kind of solution. And you got to come up with your own solutions. I'm telling you, you got 4 black people you can buy from. And if we start supporting each other more, not subliminally, Honey got plenty of people. And I watch some of them and see how many people will put her stuff out. Trina has. We don't support each other. We don't broadcast and advertise each other like we do billionaires. To me, that's one of the craziest things going. I see people talking about going to see a movie supported by billionaires. I ain't got no beef with it. Go see Beyonce. They're millionaires. Everybody's saying go see it, but you don't say, well, go get some stuff.
That
Go get stuff from
independent
Honey.
feel.
Go get some makeup from Lyle. Go get some stuff. I don't see any of that. We will not support each other, but we keep getting mad at everybody else. How much sense does that make?
And to the Beyonce thing, it's still supporting each other because Beyonce is still one of us, but it's not supporting the smaller people.
Right,
Like
in the
we want
community.
to.
The ones that need it the
She's
most.
there.
Right, she's
Exactly.
already there. Yeah, we need to, and we got to stop leading up with our emotions. Like, come on, man. Like, all this boycotting just because you saw something that you got offended by. Was the H&M the cutest monkey in the jungle? Or, even with these clothes, I think the clothes is crazy. But I don't buy from them anyway, so I really don't care. I'm not about to spend all that kind of money on a piece of clothing.
I don't mean to cut you off. I saw the
That's
Katy
okay.
Perry shoes.
Yeah, the shoes.
Yeah,
And see, when I saw them,
I didn't see that.
I didn't think it was
I just thought they
blackface. I was
were
like, oh, they
I
just
didn't-
look
I
like
didn't-
masks.
I didn't. I just
But-
thought they were ugly.
You just thought they were
Right,
ugly.
Yeah.
right.
I didn't get that part.
And then you know, like with these huge companies, you can't possibly think that every single garment that they put out has been passed by the CEO of the company. So you know, you're boycotting a huge company when the person that's in charge of the company probably didn't even know. They have people for that, you know, and there's a whole
It's a team.
chain, a chain of command. So you know, you're who you really need to boycott is like on a lower level, but you taking all of this away from, and you know, like I said, I don't care about Gucci or Prada. I don't care about none of that stuff. I'm not spending that kind of money on.
But
some
the
jeans
best
that's gonna
example
rip this-
was when Roseanne did her thing. We didn't boycott the whole radio. We didn't boycott that channel. It was just that show. We have to be more focused on
Right.
who we're upset with.
That's to the fact.
You know,
And then
we
that
are
goes to
small
the
business
power.
people, so that means we do have a hand in everything that our business does. But let her become a multi-billion-dollar company. She can't sit there and be responsible for everything.
Right, exactly.
So before you get mad at her, you gotta let her know something wrong and give them a chance to fix it. We get so mad about stuff, and everything ain't for everybody. First of all,
Right.
because again, we did the thing. I ain't never cared for none of the stuff Dave Chappelle did. To me,
Yeah, I never watched Steve Chappelle. It wasn't
him
funny.
doing white people or a blind black man saying nigga, 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 I'm offended by that. But I tell you, I was offended by the Jefferson. George Jefferson said cracker and hunky all the time. And y'all my age, how many times and we watched All in the Family, his worst thing he said was them people. So we get offended, oh, they've been doing, what? Tell me a show that you can watch on regular TV where you hear them say nigga all the time. And it ain't us. Because we good with saying cracker and hunky, and we good with saying nigga. But as soon as somebody else say, oh, we need a boycott. Well, why? You was okay with everybody else. It was funny when Dave Chappelle did it, but it wasn't funny when the dude from Seinfeld did it. What was the difference?
I mean, well, when the guy from Seinfeld did it,
but-
he was angry. It wasn't like
Right,
he
but I'm
wasn't
saying-
telling stand-up comedy. He was, what do you say?
He was lit.
If this was back in the days, you got had you
Right.
hanging from a tree. He was
Right,
he was
but-
off the hook.
But it ain't no
So
different. It ain't no
That's
different.
not
when you
really
go-
comparable.
But yeah, because when you go see a bad comedian, sometimes kind of just go wrong for whoever. But they think it's funny, and it ain't. But boycott that person. It ain't the whole thing. Well, we ain't gonna do this. But what was he doing? Because you can't boycott Floyd Mayweather. He already retired. So we got to be more consistent with what we upset about. Some stuff you just move on from. I'm sure.
That's
You,
And you have to be mindful of what you're saying you're going to boycott, because for me, I know when they were saying the NFL, my husband works for FedEx. I'm not about to boycott the NFL because
Right.
that's where some of my, that's how I make my money
Right.
off of those.
That's right. You
And
should.
also you have to think about, okay, what water are you drinking? What body wash are you using? What
Right.
toothpaste are you using? What do you buy? What do you buy? Everything, it's like a chain.
Right.
And you have to understand, just because you say, I'm going to boycott the NFL, well, there's other thing that you must boycott in order to boycott the NFL.
That's right.
Or
And then
Because
people
like
say-
we were talking about
Right.
the Nike, you know, everybody was all over Colin with the Nike commercial. Y'all do know that Nike is the makers of the jerseys in the NFL. So you're running out and you're going to buy more Nike products, you're still supporting the NFL.
But they don't get that. They just think when you say that one name, the NFL, that's it.
Oh,
like
we're
this
just
is-
not gonna
Don't
turn the
watch the
TV
game
on. Like
on
that's
Sunday.
not.
It's gonna
And the argument for
do
me,
something.
well, for somebody was, well, if we start boycotting the NFL, then it'll start to have a ripple effect. It'll, if you take money and stop watching them, stop supporting them, then it'll be a ripple effect. But there's so many other things that we use in our day-to-day lives that you gotta be very strategic not to
That's right.
almost, well, I won't even say that person's name, but anyway, almost like trying to go out and you gotta rethink your life of how you're going to live from day to day
Right.
with the things you're saying you're
Mhm.
gonna boycott.
Right, like Walmart. I'm sorry, I'm not giving up Walmart. Walmart ain't did nothing to me.
Walmart,
I'm not-
Dollar Tree, I'm just.
But-
not
I got my
doing
$2
it.
tank tops. I
I'm
told
not
you,
doing
I got
it.
my $2 tank
I'm
tops.
not doing it. I get
I'm
those
not.
things and bling them
Right.
out.
and the thing I told her that I'm most confused about is we want to boycott the things we love to boycott. Most of the things that help us the most.
Yeah.
The NFL is still 75% black,
That's
and I
right.
said
Yes.
if we take away these kids who need this 8 to 10 games a year to
Yes.
help make them
Yeah.
to pay their graduations and whatever, what are we gonna do with them? Who gonna hire them? We can't.
No.
I can guarantee right now we can't hire 300 kids.
No.
So
No.
if we boycott Walmart, who gonna hire them kids? So now when they on the streets and they robbing and selling drugs, we boycotting places that we need. And before we go to break, if we boycott the NFL and the boycott was supposed to be so that cops stop killing, well, y'all boycotting and cops still killing people. So
It
well,
didn't work.
the NFL does not control that. That was my confusion. How does the NFL control cops, but y'all won't go to courts and let judges see you? Y'all won't go to courts and let juries see you. And I told her, every time a judge finds an officer innocent, the judge's name is never published.
Nope.
Judges are elected officials.
They're
We get
the
mad
top
at every.
safety.
So you mad at Arthur Blanche? You mad at Robert Kraft? They ain't got nothing to do with no judicial decision. Not one. What's the
Get on
name?
that
The
local
commissioner.
level. Get on that local
That's
level and
right.
know
Oh,
who's
I mean,
in your community,
so
who
that
you're
you-
voting in, and who.
You want me to start watching Love and Hip Hop to worry about the mayor? Stop playing. See, that's crazy.
So I'm
But-
sorry.
Oh, we don't either. Even
Oh,
just, you know,
yeah,
saying
but
how
that's how
one
we
thing
do it.
don't have anything
Oh,
to do with the
okay.
other.
We post so much TV stuff, but we don't post. We ain't post no political stuff. All right, so hey, y'all know what it is. We finna take another break and
Going to
we
break.
ready. Trin Marie gonna come back with so she's still playing. She got this red hot jacket on. She finna bring some fire. What am I talking about? She ain't on nothing about the show. We'll be back. How about that?
Back in front. B-Box, what
No,
up,
seriously,
what up?
what are you
What
talking
up,
about?
Glenn? What's happening?
You wanna talk about
Brandon,
nothing?
check
I just did all
in, check
this.
in.
Are you
What up,
talking?
cuz?
You heard my voice, right? I'm talking. What you
Hey,
talking
man,
about?
your profile
Talk about
pic,
those
that
skills.
cut-
I
get
know,
on your
do you
profile pic,
anything?
it's fat,
Keep
man.
putting me on the spot. I'm like, what am I supposed to
Turn that up
do?
again. Nah, you got talking to you, can't fade out now.
Pissed off.
Kingston Duke.
I thought you
in
were
the
pissed
house.
off.
Oh, you should have seen my you should have seen my
Charlie for
Facebook page this weekend.
extraordinaire.
Boy, look, these folks
Hey,
mad
Kingston,
at
you
me.
going to New
Facebook
Orleans?
probationary. They keep
You
saying.
going to
at me.
Bonner Brothers in New
What?
Orleans? Tell me about
And you know, it's crazy. Like everybody think I'm
Right
against
on.
black people. Like I'm not against it. I'm so for us, but I want us to get out of our feelings. We want to lead with our feelings. We can't do nothing with our emotions. Like okay,
Just talk.
yeah, you know, I was at a point where I was angry. Like when I became enlightened or whatever, and I'm like, oh, white people, I hate white people, and then I'm like, damn, but I really don't hate white people. I mean, the white people today, what have they done to me? That I can feel personally, like, you know,
Not
when I
colors,
step
but
outside, I don't feel like, you know, I go to a restaurant or go to a store, the white people just is smiling and they just as happy and hi, how you doing? Can I help you? It's like, damn, I hate you. Like, why though?
I treat you how you treat me.
You being nice to me, I'm
But
supposed to hate you because
I got 3 friends who had a family member murdered. One by nobody white, one by nobody who was polyester. But we don't want to discuss that. So who we mad at now? Because now this is stuff that we can touch. Now we read about this is stuff. If I ask y'all, who could name somebody that they know has suffered from police abuse? Most people can go to an article. But if I ask you, do you know somebody who's been robbed or shot or hurt by somebody black, people
That
can
look
tell
like
you
you.
personal.
They give you a
Yeah.
whole list.
yeah,
Yeah,
people
they
that look
do.
like you.
They reminisce like
We
it was
really
good
don't
old days.
support
Listen,
anybody.
we don't want to talk about
But we don't wanna talk about
Chi-Town,
that.
what's up, sweetie? How you
Most people
doing?
who I know been robbed, they know who they got a good idea who robbed.
Appreciate you
And like
watching.
you
It
said
turns
about-
to a
Code
competition
issues.
thing, because then the next person gonna talk about a robbery that was worse than that.
That's when you get the what
Yeah.
about game. But
Yeah,
what
that's-
about
Yeah.
you know, like during some one other time, you know, everybody talking about they gotta teach their kids to look out for the police, but you're not telling your kids that they need to watch their classmates. The way these school shootings is going nowadays,
Right.
that's what you need to be
Right.
watching.
That's where these home invasions coming from. A lot of these school kids.
Yep, the people you know.
They should pull the reins on these kids, because I promise you, I'm not asking any questions. I know who comes in and out of my house. I know how we get in our home. If somebody comes in the way that they're not, I'm not asking questions.
But
I know that's right.
I'm just not asking
I know
questions.
that's right.
she posted one of the girls killed their mama because of her cell phone.
Cause they, yeah,
Right.
take their cell phone.
Really? But we don't want to discuss that. We want to talk about.
Because you want to lay the blame on
That's
everybody.
right. But on everybody else,
And
we
then you
don't
know
want
what
to
else
take
I found out, and
responsibility.
I've watched on social media, people can post something that has no truth to it. Now,
boy.
I would
People,
debate
you
the
get
hell
all
out
type
of
of
you.
reactions.
I would debate with you, only if I know what I'm talking about. If I don't know what I'm talking about,
I need to add you as a friend. You need
But I'm
to
gonna
be on my
debate the
page.
hell out of you if I know what I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about.
y'all
But
really
people, what they'll
discuss.
do is they'll post
Well,
something,
Juanita
and I
Nix, what's
notice by
up?
going
Fly
in, I'm
girl, how you
like,
doing?
well, no, such and
How's
such.
everything?
Well, if it happened, even if it didn't happen, they'll go back to something
Yeah,
else, something
yeah.
else.
Like, come on.
That was a nice
But you-
house.
It was so crazy. I was going back and forth with this one guy, and his
checking your boy out.
what was it? Not evidence. His arguing proof or whatever was a damn
Some
meme.
lady
Boy, if you don't go
house.
sit the hell down, a meme. That's what you coming at me with, a meme?
That's the people that don't read.
Yeah,
read books.
a meme.
But when you hit
I
them
can
with
make that.
because I love this. I'm alright. Oh, you brainwashed. How am I brainwashed by the truth?
Yeah, you can't be brave. If it's
Cause-
a fact, it's a
But we'd rather
Right,
go
fact
along
is a
with
fact.
something else, and you cannot change a fact.
You
There's
can't
one
change a
thing you
fact.
can't do.
That's right.
But what's the
You
thing?
can never change a fact.
We'd rather be fooled than admit we've been fooled.
What is it?
It's easier to
it's
fool us.
easier to fool you than it is to convince you that you've been fooled.
Because some girl put, blackface is how they used to announce killings and lynching. Blackface. Where did you get that from?
Yeah.
Blackface was no different. That's what comedians did. Good or bad, that's what they did to make their money and try to get laughs. I don't
Yeah.
care how we feel about it.
Just like what the Uncle Tom. Everybody just
Yeah,
heard
Uncle Tom
it,
is-
ran with
He
it. No
goes in
history,
on that every
no
show,
no
too. He
no
doesn't know.
homework, no
Right.
Google it. Google just
Oh,
Google
no.
it.
I put on my payment, the girl said, I said, read the book. She said, what book?
I got the pictures and I took a picture of it. Look on my. I took a picture.
But
of
she
it.
said, what
Look on
book?
my page.
But she asked me what book.
I do.
Huh?
She asked me what book.
Right, right. So you don't even know.
This she
Are you
put-
serious?
Yeah.
I know where it came
She
from.
just run around saying Uncle Tom because it's something she done heard people say. So
We
must
shouldn't even be
mean
using white people service. I said, you know Facebook is a white.
platform.
All that shit.
Yeah.
You do know that Mark Zuckerberg ain't
And I'm
African.
so sick of these people saying, don't send me this. Well, on 2 o'clock tomorrow, at 12 o'clock tomorrow, Facebook will invade. You already give them permission to look at your phone, your camera,
right, thank
your,
you.
everything,
Mark
your
Zuckerberg, he
picture,
ain't
your
real.
everything.
Don't
You
bring up
know?
Mark Zuckerberg, he ain't real.
Get out. He ain't real. He only been on. He done been on TV.
I'm gonna get off base
you know.
because they do. What are you doing the messages that the feds would care about?
But the
Y'all
thing
putting
about
the
it
bank
is, you've
laws
already
in
given them permission. Every app that you have on your phone, you've given them permission.
When you
Even
click
if
that
you
little
have an
check mark,
Android-
It say allow this or allow that.
What I'm saying, when you sign up for certain, it's already there.
I'm sorry.
But
Oh, you
what,
okay?
what are you
I don't know
doing
if this
that
thing
Facebook
is-
need to monitor you?
Okay,
I don't want messages because they can monitor. What are you saying? What are you saying in your conversation that make you so special?
Right.
Hard,
who are
what's
you
up,
again?
what's up?
What's your name?
How's it going?
What up, Doug? Better late than never.
Y'all
I
ready?
know you're a
Yeah.
businessman.
Hey,
Well,
Doug.
Martin in the building.
All right, let's do it, y'all. Let's do it.
Which one of y'all want to bring us back?
I will.
Yeah, let's go. Hold on, don't get me in trouble with Renee.
Oh.
Don't give up that 976
That's why
voice.
you gotta put that squeaky.
Give
Put
out
a
that
squeak
800,
in
give out
it.
that 800 voice. I ain't got time for
High,
that long
high
pitch.
pitch.
Coming in 5, 4, 3.
And we're back. Random Thoughts, DVP. I'm your man, Makeup and More in the building. We got Miss Trina Marie and Miss Honey. So it's 2 and 2, you know, we got a nice little coordination of color here, you know.
Right, the black and the reds.
Yeah, for the Valentine holiday, you know, so.
And
we
not,
got
not the pigeons, just so y'all don't get it
yeah,
twisted.
all I'm thinking about, we know how things are exploited and all that, but it's all about black love. And, you know, we got to do some nice things. You ain't want to go broke, like my man be saying, you know. Don't want to go broke and OD, as the kids say, you know. But you want to do something nice for your significant other. And, you know, and it don't have to be on one day. You should be spreading that out. Because sometimes the ladies say, if you spread it out, you know, they won't get so bent up on that one day. So, Miss Honey, you got some more great advice for us. We talked about your bling, which is amazing. So you got multi-talents. But and I was waiting for questions. If we got any more tax questions, finances, this is what y'all need to know. I know a lot of hair people, makeup artists who are doing your taxes independently and things like that. So if y'all got questions, y'all need to really reach out. You know, we have fun, but we really give y'all great information.
So before we went to break, we were talking about the whole boycotting thing, right?
Oh God.
You know, I remember that far. You know, I got it.
I don't want to get back into that.
But yeah, let's if we gonna make a stance and make our dollars count, let me just say this first of all, and I'm gonna go back to Honey. If you got a good tax person, ask them some questions about how you can do stuff. And this is the first thing I do. I'm gonna tell you this, and I ain't asked him about this. Anybody who can guarantee you a certain amount of money, one, drop them. That's part of our niggerisms. We get so caught with people telling us stuff, and that's how we get audited 3-4 years later and don't. Stop, because no tax preparer, no good tax preparer can guarantee you anything until they see your paperwork. I can tell Honey right now everything I'm saying, and she can't tell me until she see it on paper, because she can't.
The numbers.
And I won't try.
Yeah, but I know a lot of people get in trouble. Say, oh yeah, go to my guy, he
My
gets
guy,
$5
yeah.
grand. Oh, he don't know shit about me. Oh, but he do. Okay.
Made $200.
And you know, I did this one year when I was with the sheriff's department. I seen, you know, like 200 of my partners got investigated because they wanted somebody who was guaranteeing them more money. I'm good with my 1312. I'm good. I got $1,300. I'm good. Oh man, you can't mean you got 5,000. 3 years later, 200 people got audited. Not me. You know what? If I would have went to somebody better, I might have got 1350. But I was cool with my 1312. I don't need to go. I don't need that. But when we into this, let's make our money count. Let's stop being scared of group economics. You know,
Yeah,
and we don't
yeah.
trust each other. So what
That
you do
trust
is,
factor. That's
from
the
our
biggest
home
thing.
business, because that's how most of us start, we start doing stuff together. And then we find somebody and everybody has an area of expertise, and we get together, we get bigger buildings so that we can all coexist. It's no different than when I always talk about roommates, and if people want to argue, everybody can't afford to live by themselves. Or if somebody said, well, I don't like that neighborhood. Well, if you're working a job where you're making minimum wage, you can't stay in Buckhead. You gotta know what your abilities are, and you need a good tax person or a CPA to give you this advice. Learn how to use your money wisely for you, and stop fussing about stuff. Some stuff is over your head. We complain about what's going on in DC and everywhere,
Choose your
but we
battles.
never worry about what's local. We can control local prices.
Right.
We was watching the thing with the shooting, the Parkland shooting. All the laws they've enacted, the gun laws that they've enacted in Florida.
They said there's 67 new laws
In
on the
Florida.
books since the kids from the Parkland shooting started their activism. 67 new laws.
But they started at home. You can't work. DC
Yeah.
does not control what goes on locally. I know a lot of y'all
True.
don't want to hear that.
That's
Don't
true.
But
understand.
they don't do street renovations, they don't do school upgrades, none of that. Those things we need to start fixing, then we can become a force du jour. But we
Right.
keep on, again, I can't tell Hunter how much water they can use in their house. Oh, I'm boycotting. My favorite. I'm gonna boycott Hunter because Trina ain't giving me none. You think Hunter care?
Not at
So,
all.
but that's what we tend to do. We boycott people who don't have
Have
nothing to do with
anything
the
to do with
change.
anything,
They don't
right.
have an agent. They're not the agent of change, and we don't have a reason for it other than we mad about something.
Yep. Yeah.
What's the end goal? So let's get beyond it. Let's stop being so mad about everything. Let's figure how we can just make our system better. I can be mad about the girlfriend I lost. I can only be happy with the girlfriend I got and move forward. If we try that first and stop being mad at every little thing, I'm gonna tell you this. How long you been married, honey?
7 years.
7 years, but y'all been knowing each other like 1,000. Because I
13.
played football. I'm sure there are days that you and Reggie don't get along.
Oh, absolutely.
She don't boycott. She might not cook or something, but you know they still together.
And even if you do boycott, make sure you get something out of it. I don't see just boycotting just to be boycotting because you never, oh, we put them out of business. Aha. Okay, so you put them out of business, but what
And what?
happened for us? Right. What
Right.
happened for us? You know, even with companies, with the union workers, once they protest, they're protesting for a reason. And they stopped protesting because they got what they asked for. And on top of that, not every single employee participates in the protest. So
Exactly.
you don't need every single person to be on board in order to make something happen.
That's almost like the voting. I made a post after the voting was over. I said, okay, so you voted, now what?
Now what?
Right.
What else are you gonna do?
Right.
So you voted, okay,
Mhm.
and you see that your vote, whichever way, if you voted for this person and that person didn't win, okay, so your vote, you didn't get your end result. So
Right.
what are you gonna do next?
Right.
So you can't just stop at that particular thing.
Right.
Right.
You have to have an end result. What are you doing?
And our activism has to be based on something other than us just being ass hurt.
Right.
Right.
Ain't nothing gonna happen where everybody gonna be happy, which is why we gotta quit thinking that we all gotta get along. Honey's list of issues might not be the same as mine. Don't mean hers wrong, don't mean mine wrong. It just means we get the attack from different avenues. And I keep trying to explain this to y'all.
Right.
It's 4 of us in here. Domestic violence does not have to be all of our core issue. I can do domestic violence. Honey does a thing with dad's rights.
Yes.
He can do a thing with school. We can all do something and come back together and bond together. But if we all combine on one something, let me tell you what happened when we all combine for the same goal. The first time we hit a roadblock, we lost. Because now we don't have nothing
Right.
else to go to.
Yeah.
This is why we can't all be on the same thing. It's okay to multitask. That's how you find a legitimate company. Let me use my Patriots. They don't have one game plan for everybody. They change every week to get the job done. That's how we have to be. You have to have people on your team who don't all look at the same thing. The end goal is the same, that we want this, this, and this, but how we get them, well, I want them to talk about more about this. But we're there. We're there.
Right.
When I hear people say, oh, I would never talk to the president because he this, he that. Well, if Martin Luther King took that stance with Lyndon B. Johnson, we wouldn't have a lot of rights now.
Right. I sure
I
will.
But-
cursed out for that when
but-
I said that.
But in the 21st century, Martin Luther King would be a coon
That's right. He sure
because
would.
he's sitting there trying.
And so with Malcolm X.
And you gotta talk to the enemy. Sometimes, figure this out. Me and Honey can be talking about the same thing using different language. We might have a beef because we've never sat down and talked face to face.
Exactly.
Sometimes you have to talk to your supposed enemy, especially if they willing to listen. Whether you like Kanye or his wife or whoever, guess what? His wife got somebody out of jail.
Exactly.
So for all these
Sure
football
did.
players who refuse to have a conversation with them, to me what they're saying is they don't want to try to get nobody out of jail.
Exactly.
Because I don't care how you feel. We know what happened. Somebody went in there and talked to him. He signed it. She was released. So there's, what, 775 football players or something? If all of them if 10% of them got somebody released, how many people would that get us out?
A
But
lot.
we'd rather be stubborn and say, oh, I ain't talking to nobody. And that's gotta be wrong, because it's 53 players to a team, it's 32 teams. Y'all do quick
Right.
math. If one person every team got somebody released, we making a start.
Yeah.
But we'd rather say we ain't going, we don't wanna talk. That's ignorant as hell to deny yourself a seat at the table.
Right.
But I think that the reason that they don't go and take a stance and go, they probably won't have those opportunities to have a sit-down conversation. That is right, and people.
He invited them.
But I mean,
Yeah.
even
No,
when they.
but that's there for photo ops and boom, they out. So that ain't
Again,
one of them
you can say that,
platforms where you can
you don't know
talk
until you
to
try.
them.
Once you go there, if Honey say, come and talk to me, and I go and Honey don't listen, then I can say I went, she
Right.
wouldn't listen.
Right.
But if I never go,
The
she
answer is always
win.
no.
Cause
The answer is
she
always
gonna
no.
always say, you had a chance to come and talk to me.
Mhm.
And I said no
But that
because
was-
of what she posted on Facebook. So you can't sit there. What do we tell our kids? Nothing beats, only way you always feel is not to try.
Right.
Yeah.
So if we don't ever try, and we can come back with proof positive that we went and talked to this dude, cause ain't nobody read. You don't read all the comments on your post. You don't read all. So people can say something. It might be something that you really
Yeah.
need to know, but you missed it because it was too much.
Yeah.
So if you get the opportunity and you don't take it, that's on us.
Right.
Because again, if Martin would have never talked to LBJ, where would we be now? Because when he had that conversation, look at it, he's like, some of the stuff I never even considered. Because I'm talking to my people who think like me.
Right.
I didn't hear from somebody who was affected. So Donald Trump, let's see, he had Omarosa, Herschel Walker, Ben Carson. What do they know about struggling black people? What can he tell them? What could they tell him about the judicial system? Nothing. But most of these NFL players come from
That's
low
right.
income background.
Yeah.
So they could have gave him some insight that, come on, but you don't even want to go to talk? You don't even want to go?
And like, even though, you know, I wasn't so crazy about when Kanye went, Kanye was kicking some real stuff. He really was. Some of that stuff he was saying was like, damn, Kanye, but everybody, oh, he's a coon, he's a, did you listen to him? Did you
No.
hear what he was saying?
No,
Like,
they,
he was
they
saying
couldn't
something
hear
real-
him for, they couldn't hear him, they couldn't get past what he was trying to say
Right.
because he was just there.
Yeah.
And they didn't agree with him being there.
Right.
So I don't think they could
And
get
that's
past
a
him
problem
even.
on us, you know, like we so caught up in our emotions, like, oh, well, we don't like him. Like, come on, we gotta stop being so emotional. We gotta begin to be logical at some point. We're not never gonna get anywhere running off of our emotions. Never.
But they wanted him to get in there and act a fool. But instead, he said something that was so prophetic. And what was it? You remember what he said?
We choose brands over land.
Ooh, that hurt us.
Yeah.
That's why we hated him. Because now you look in your closet, you see all these brands, you look in your bank account, and you don't have shit.
And you still renting an apartment.
You screwed up your grandparents' property, so you ain't got that. But when he said that, that hurt some of y'all soul. That hurt you.
To the core.
To the core,
You know what I'm
yes, yes.
But he was telling the truth. Because we so concerned. Why else would anything that Gucci do affect us? Why else? Because we concerned about name brands.
And not only are we concerned about name brands, I think that subliminally, deep down somewhere inside, we still care what they think about us. We still care. Because other than that, like, oh, they don't like us, and so what? To hell with who they like. To hell to whether or not they like us. We need to like us enough to do something about it.
Yeah.
You my sister? Cause that's.
But I'm serious, like, I don't care that they don't like me.
So you know who to send a friend
I hear
to.
people, oh, she said nigger. I don't care. I know what I am. I know who I
Exactly.
am.
But and that's the thing, because you breaking somebody down. Well, one, and I try to tell people this. Whenever I say something about black people, if I give you a fact, I'm not hating. I'm just giving you a fact, something for you to consider, because you ain't looking at all of this. If Honey knows it, I'm a drug dealer and a pedophile, no matter what I'm doing publicly, she need to bring that to people's attention.
That's right.
Because I may not be over that. I may
That's
be my way of luring people in. Oh, why you got to bring another black man down? No, she didn't bring me down. I did the shit myself.
Exactly.
And we don't
I'm
want to
just
accept
exposing you.
right. We don't want to accept any
Yeah.
responsibility because we choose to follow somebody because, as they said in the rap song, we so thirsty for something. When somebody give us sand, we think it's just gritty water because we so thirsty. We wouldn't follow anybody who will say what we want to hear, whether they got any follow through or not. So if we're gonna be activists, one, let's get over bitching. Let's have a plan for everything that we do. And I will give my management team crew, they won't let me bitch about nothing unless I present a group of solutions. Because anybody can sit here and say, oh, this is wrong. I can sit and tell Honey, she can tell me I can tell everything is wrong. But if I don't have a plan for her, what's the point?
Exactly.
One of my greatest employers told me, Darren, I appreciate you, but don't bring me a plan without a solution. Anybody can tell me what's screwed up. I need a plan for what they're working on. You need to come with a plan. Let me know that you thought about it. Don't just look for wrong stuff. And that's what we got to understand. When we see something that's wrong, address it, but say how we can fix it. Instead of bitching about everything, let's do a little research. Let's find out how we can make this better. How can we do this? You know, the schools is one of my things. I want, because I'm going to start this, why don't schools teach finances to juniors and seniors? We teach everything else that they don't need in life, but we don't ever teach them how to start dealing with a paycheck, how to open a bank account. Where do they learn this at? Because, unfortunately, most of the parents, we're busy working. We depend on
And some of us just don't even know.
And some of us don't,
Yeah.
but we're still ignorant. We don't know. Hey, we barely making it. But schools got accounting classes, but they don't have finance classes. They got classes about fucking art. And I ain't got nothing against art, but is that a life skill? Because everybody who go to high school is not going to college. Some of them going straight to the workforce. We don't do anything for them for that. That's one of them things that bothers me. Trina went to a thing a couple of weeks ago, and Douglas County, they did a whole seminar on human trafficking. Sex trafficking. How many schools are doing that? Because it needs to be taught to the teenagers.
It does.
Because if we don't say it, it won't happen. But we know it's happening. This is us as adults when we getting so mad about everything else, we forgetting about what our focus is. Let's worry about. I don't like 45, but again, most of what he does not affect me. So I listen. Whatever. I mean, yeah, I wasn't a governor. I personally was not affected by the shutdown. You know, but I started doing a couple of things because we said, hey, there may be people who need something. But personally, I wasn't affected. Were you affected?
No.
So, I mean, we looked at it, but how many did it really shut us down? Because most of y'all ain't got jobs, but that's a whole other issue. But we got to look at it. So, yeah, you know, we get clothes up to donate clothes. We do some shelter stuff. Me and Honey talked. We talked about it. Honey does some stuff. We're going to get into that. Because these are little things you can do. You know, I told Trina, one thing my mama got instilled in me. To buy new clothes, you got to get rid of old clothes. You can't just keep hoarding stuff. You know, you put it on the hanger that you got from the cleaners. If it's on the hanger the same way a year later, get rid of it because you ain't going to wear it. All right? So we're going to get into some of this stuff because we got to get ready to wrap up. So I want y'all to understand how y'all can help contribute. Honey got some more stuff, some activism stuff she's doing. She ain't want to say anything about it. We're going to get there. And we're gonna give y'all some solutions on how to make a difference, how to go beyond bitching. Bitching without borders. It's okay to bitch, but do something else about it other than just sit back and whine and be a keyboard gangster.
Step up to the plate.
Step up to the plate. Make a difference in your own hood. All right? All right, so we'll be right back in a few minutes.
back
And we're going to do what we do.
All right.
You put yours over there, Charlie.
I like you, honey.
I know, right? I'm like,
I
I'm
remember when I
like,
first graduated, when I was with the whole voting thing before
Uh-huh.
I started learning more, people started coming, did you register, did you vote? I used to always ask. So, what do you do after you vote? And
Right.
they never had an answer.
Right.
They started talking negative to me. Oh,
Right.
you don't know none of that. I said, well, I mean, dang.
You put the little patch on and show it to everybody.
Yeah.
I said, so if I don't go vote, but I go out here and I'm out here helping people and doing the right thing and doing what's needed to be, I just discard me. Just discard me. Well, you did. I was like, see,
You're
that was it.
contributing, you're tithing in your
Yeah.
own way.
But
You're
Right.
doing-
Until I start
giving-
learning and people
Right. But we
actually
get
educate me with things.
I'm talking the first time I voted for Obama, I didn't dislike him or like him. The guy who he was running against, he kept lying all the time. I just couldn't get jiggy with that.
Right.
And I'm like, people like, oh, you need to vote for him because he's black. I said, you realize that make you a racist.
Yeah.
Right.
If that's the
But
only
no,
reason you
we
vote
can't be
for him,
racist.
If-
We
if
can't be
the only reason you
racist.
vote for him is because he's black. You don't know what he stands for. That's our downfall. We keep following people because of color, and they keep leading us astray.
For y'all that's watching my live,
Thank you.
and I was at my head talking about we can't be racist, call in and tell us how we can be racist. Yeah, I'm sorry.
We're gonna do that next. We're gonna do that next show. So
Next show? Next show? Okay,
Next
I'm
show
sorry,
we're gonna
I'm sorry,
talk.
I'm
Next show
sorry.
we're gonna talk about black racists.
Yeah, I know you gonna go in.
Another
Man,
tip
look.
on taxes is stop switching your dependents. That's a key thing. People will switch dependents.
Yeah.
You can't do that. Let me tell you why. Because the
Did you
IRS.
switch them from 2 to 1 or from dad to mom? Dad's claiming and mom's claiming.
You can do
like
that, and you can now with the
Yeah,
parents
you
you
can
can alternate.
alternate.
You can alternate, but outside people like going from aunt, because they start what they do, and I'm pretty sure. Well, I don't know if you know, but they're linked to the Social Security Administration.
Right.
They wait and they see. That's why they don't give out the taxes before the 15th when you have dependents. They're looking to see where these children have been registered. They look at Social Security Administration, they look at everything. They look at the, what do you call the place, Department of Family and Children
Behind the
Services.
scenes
They look, they're
information.
all linked. So they wait on that information to upload into their system, and then that lets them know, did this child receive any type of benefits? If so, it was under this particular person,
Right.
under this particular social. So if
So
they're
they
following
watching
somebody
closer
else's
than we
social,
realize.
yeah, right, so
I just use my kids and can't go wrong with the kids.
you will definitely get audited. And then people say, well, I don't know why I got audited. Well, a lot of times you don't have to have a reason to be audited.
Yeah, you don't.
You're randomly sometimes.
Right.
I've been audited twice,
Mhm.
and I already know what to do. Just send my stuff, whatever they ask for.
Because you know you legit. So it
Right,
ain't no big deal.
but sometimes you create yourself.
Sometimes you do create a red
Yeah,
flag.
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You do.
because I've been audited, and they asked me to send stuff, and I when I got ready to go, she's like, "You ain't got to come. We just want to just okay."
Yeah. So I mean, you got to be real mindful of that. But we got to be educated. We have as much as we.
We know, and we got to be educated on real stuff. That's our problem.
This is real.
But I'm saying,
This is real.
that's what I'm saying.
Right,
We prefer to be
that's-
educated on nonsense. Stuff.
Right.
You
have to be.
Right. We don't want to know. We don't want to be held responsible. for
This
anything.
is through 2020.
What's up, Big Sexy?
So,
All of a sudden I can't see. Who's Big Sexy?
Bettina.
Oh. I was able to see all them letters just fine up until now. Can't see anything. I didn't realize it was 7:30.
Is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
time.
You can't look at that clock. That's
Yeah,
the
don't
Vegas
look at
clock.
that
Denise
That's India right
there.
Trey, I'm gonna let you give a trend. So when she get ready to start her shit starter series, since y'all seem to be on the same page, the one to get me in trouble all the time, let y'all do y'all thing.
You know, I'm
See, I
wanting
just I don't tolerate BS. I have a low tolerance for.
Yeah, but she called people like quick. And then
What's the problem?
Right, what's the problem?
Because Trina like doing research, so she'll look up stuff and then hit you with it. But now, see what happened is
But
this.
what did I just say? I said I will debate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
I'm not
gonna
gonna
do
talk.
my
If I don't know what I'm
homework.
talking about, I'm gonna shut up. Or I'm gonna be like, teach me. Thank you. I'm not always. I don't know everything. Nobody knows everything. So it's like, okay, well,
And my
enlighten me,
when
educate
you
me.
ask me where they get that information, you can Google it. I already Google. I don't see what you're
Or they
saying.
send you a damn meme.
I hate when people do
No,
that.
where do you get it from?
Yeah, where
That's
you
the
get
question.
it from? That's right.
If you state that it's your fact, show me. Because I mean, when people do it to me, I go, dude, what state you in? Because I'm gonna pull up your state law. I ain't even gonna use Georgia state law. Some Trina got, well, that wasn't Trina on this one, but some dude want to come down from Chicago to fight me about a law that don't even exist. Dude, I look in your state, it ain't illegal. Yes, it is. Where? Dude, Chicago, it's not illegal. I know it ain't illegal in Georgia. It's illegal in United Kingdom. You
Oh,
realize United Kingdom?
the stealthing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the stealthing.
You realize that it still ain't legal. It ain't illegal here. It ain't even talked about
He
here.
got
Shanika,
upset
what up,
because
what up?
he didn't because they
What
didn't
up?
consider stealthing to be rape. It is rape.
What up, what up?
It's not rape.
It's not. And I even asked
It's
the question.
messed up, but it's not rape.
He said it was.
He
Yeah.
said that it was rape, and he was. I have a sister that was raped, and and you're a
This one you gotta say when you
transvestite,
check
and you're
the
the.
number.
Like, well, damn, I guess I'll be the transvestite today. Since you say so.
What up? What's going on?
But yeah, it's
See
like,
that?
I want to educate you on stuff, so I can give you the law. We can talk about my perspective. Whether you like it, I ain't my. The law still says this.
That's just how people don't like to be wrong.
Yeah, they don't like to be
It's all right to
wrong.
be wrong.
Yeah.
You can't be right all the
Well,
time.
I sometimes just listen, because there are lots of things I don't have an opinion until I start
And
listening.
every comment doesn't. You don't have to. Like for
Doesn't
me,
require
it doesn't
an
require.
answer.
It doesn't require
It really
response.
doesn't.
Response,
And
yeah.
something
Like, why can't you
something I
keep
started
scrolling?
doing now is like
Keep scrolling.
once I notice that I'm talking to an angry person, because some people are
I'll
just
delete
angry.
mine
I just
and
I just
say
stop.
nothing.
Okay, you got that. You're right. I'm not about to argue with it. You can't reason with an angry person.
But
When I'm angry, you can't reason with me. So it's
Some of them not just
Because then
angry.
they be going
One guy
off
said,
emotion.
the
yeah,
most-
they're going off emotion.
what's the guy said? He said the biggest tragedy that we face in the 21st century is the Colin Kaepernick incident. I said, but that's the biggest
What?
that's the biggest dude.
I'm done.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm
When I
Right.
follow
That's when you
my
just-
friend. That's the big.
You got that. You got that.
And this dude.
It's 'cause he
He
got
was-
asked.
he was-
This dude is 60 years old.
He was serious though.
Oh my God.
He was
But then there was another guy
That's the
who
biggest
about the
trap.
Black Panther movie. He said that when he what was it, the fist pick
Oh, for
that gave him
community.
the greatest sense of pride that he's ever had in his life. A
Okay.
comb?
That's what he said.
So he ain't
Say
never
that
seen
again, I'm
one
sorry.
himself.
The pick, you know the pick, the Afro pick with the fist. He said that gave him one of the greatest senses of pride, like a
That and Black Panther made him
that,
feel.
that
They made
and
him
Black
proud to feel
Panther
black.
made
So a
him
movie.
A pick, no, a pick.
fictional.
Pick with the fist on it.
He said the pick.
The people,
I
everybody didn't
I
have.
couldn't let it go when he said
The
Everybody-
one
I had one of those,
everybody
I had
had just
long
sticking
hair.
out their afro.
a
Yeah.
pick
It's a
gave him a
pick.
sense of pride.
Pick.
Dude, that was super poor. A pick.
All these things that
It's happening in the world
damn,
today.
hell,
And
there's
that's,
things that happen under my
That's what you-
household
that's
that
what you
gives
do.
me a sense of pride. When I see my 15-year-old helping out my 4-year, that gives me a sense of pride. You know, I'm doing something right. I'm raising these girls kind of right. You're like, damn.
Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Oh. You gonna break after this one.
Okay, so we got this segment, then we got one more for everybody.
Okay,
to
so we were
Yeah,
talking
we got
about
this one and
we
then
were
break
talking
and then
about
we'll
the.
close.
Okay, make sure you give me enough time so that everybody can give, because Hunter got like 3 or 4 things. So, like,
Yeah, when we break, then we'll close out. But I give you time to
Okay.
talk for the close out.
Okay.
Coming in at 5, 4, 3.
What's happening? What's happening? You know what? I need to apologize. I should have hoped Miss JJ ain't listening because we did everything she told us. I'm going to blame it on Will. My mom said, when did I blame somebody who ain't got a microphone? Will ain't got a microphone right now. We did. We having a good time. We having some deep conversation. Let me just say this, people. And I'm going to say this for everybody at the table. Lila's probably the most mild-mannered. These 2 fireballs on my side, and then I just, I'm built for the struggle. Listen, if you got an issue, bring it to one of our pages. We're willing to openly discuss it, and that's part of our problem. We don't want to discuss things. We want to browbeat people and then get mad because they don't respect our opinion. And opinions when you have an open mind. A mind is like an umbrella. It only works when it's open. If somebody says something you don't like, you don't have to. But if it makes sense, get beyond your feelings. Does it make sense? Will it help in the long run? It's okay. And I tell people this all the time. One of the best lessons I learned as a cop was anytime we got to do something, the team was supposed to look for everything negative to make sure it went right. When we tell people stuff, we need people to point out the negative. So when we hit a roadblock, we're prepared for it. That's why a lot of us stumble in life, because everybody tells us how great we are. And I like Obama, but everything ain't possible for everybody. That's the biggest lie. Everybody can't be everything. You will never convince a fish you can be a bird. It's a lie. So it ain't. So you can do anything you put your mind to. No, it takes more than you thinking. Can you put forth the effort?
Sure, now with these boys being girls and these girls
Right,
being
because
boys,
now
I don't know.
everybody neutral gender, which is some BS, but that's a whole nother story. But when you have a plan, if you're not prepared to let people try to dissect your plan to help make you better, then you're really not prepared.
No, they take that as criticism.
Right, but
And it's fine because criticism is good. It's
Constructive
constructive
criticism.
criticism.
But that's
right.
how you
But
look
if
at
they
it.
get in their feelings
But some people don't know
already.
the difference.
They
yeah.
don't know
They
the
don't know
difference.
the
They
difference.
think you're just downing them.
And the thing is you got to tell. When somebody tell you something, is there any validity to it? If there's some validity to it, whether you like them or not, take it for what it is.
That's right.
If they just, it ain't gonna work because you cross-eyed, then move on. But if they saying it ain't gonna work because it's, listen, and whether you like them or not, fix that hole in your plan. Don't start calling them names, which is what we love to do. That's why we don't get together. And I keep going back to the bus boycott because it was the most effective. It took a year of planning, and they made sure they had rides for everybody who couldn't afford to miss work. If we boycott anything that calls for lower income people to miss something, we're never gonna get their
We need to
participation
watch out for
because
the,
they
we need to
can't.
look out for the underdog.
Because they can't miss paychecks.
Yeah.
They cannot miss paychecks, and I'm retired. I ain't gonna miss a paycheck, so I can sit back and boycott a lot of stuff. I can sit back and say, "Oh, y'all shouldn't go to work for here because I'm getting a check."
Right.
But if people depend on that check, and most of us living week to week, we can't cut out certain things. So that is always a bad idea. If we're gonna boycott Walmart, be prepared to give 300 jobs to these kids and elderly people who need this check. If you're gonna boycott the NFL, be prepared to see 75% of black people, us, that we ain't gonna support them. I got family who play in the NFL. I don't care what y'all say, I'm supporting them. Ain't no slaves making $1 million. Let go of that slave shit. You get to say when you're going to work. You get to pick where you're going to work. You get to leave. So all your slave mentality shit to me is non-existent.
Yeah, we have to let go of that victim mentality. Like I put the Gandhi quote the other day. Your thoughts become your behavior become your actions, and so on and so forth. Instead of taking that, somebody comes along like Gandhi hated blacks. Who cares? Who cares? That was some real shit.
But
Damn
you
it.
just missed the message.
You missed the message. You missed the whole message. It's like, goodness grief. But we do gotta let go of that victim mentality. Like, we're never, if you believe you can't do it, then you won't do it. It's no different, like I was telling Darren the other day, it's no different than that horse that you can tie to a fence. A wooden fence with a string, because you done already beat it down so many times. You done gotta believe in that it can't do it, so it can clearly, run right off. But it believes that it can't. So if we believe we are victims and that we have no power, we won't exert the power that we do have because we believe we have none.
Right. The mental enslavement is coming from within. We enslaving ourselves.
That's right.
Believe that we can't do stuff, and we blaming everybody else. And and I talk about, and I ain't picking on none of y'all parents. But the Bible was there for them. Most of our parents had that white Jesus. But we made that a white man. The white man didn't put that white Jesus in our house. They didn't read. And I talked to a pastor there. He said, most of us let somebody tell us something and we won't read and verify. We find it's wrong, we'll blame them. But it's our fault for not verifying. I mean, Hunter was just saying, she will look up stuff before she gets to argument to see what's correct. We won't look up anything. We'll just say, somebody told me. Somebody told me. And I told one of my friends, you put up a post that's wrong. Well, I'm going to leave it up anyway, just in case.
That's the
Why would you?
dumbest.
When somebody tell me a post is wrong and I figure it out, I will delete the post. I don't even say, hey, this post is in. I just delete it because I don't want the record of it, because I don't want people to see it, to repost it. Do we have a call? All right, caller, welcome to Random Thoughts with DVP. Where you calling from? What's your question?
Call you live.
Hey, what's going on, bro?
What's happening?
This is Doc. I just wanted to call in and holler at you right quick. I'm just getting off work, so I didn't get a chance to tune into the whole show.
Hey,
But I just
Saga.
stop in and just show some love and say I'm down with Team Tree.
Saga the boss. What up?
You know what, Saga? I'm still gonna stab. I'm still gonna stab
You
you.
breaking up.
You're right.
I appreciate. Hey, Saga got to show y'all. Check out my little brother. He on the air Thursdays from what time? 8 to 10. Saga.
He said he wasn't
Oh,
playing.
okay, he hung up. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Hey.
Boy, I shouldn't.
Oh no, I ain't saying that people shouldn't boycott. I'm just saying if you're gonna boycott, have a plan. Don't just boycott. Anytime a boycott is emotional, it will fail because there's no substance to it. When you're boycotting, you have to have an end goal. You have to boycott. Boycotts only work when you boycott people that need your money.
That's right.
The reason the Montgomery bus boycott worked is because they needed
Right.
those riders.
Yeah.
That's why it was effective. They boycotted the agent of change.
Yep.
Okay, so when them bus riders stopped coming, they had to meet. But for that to happen, what people don't realize is Martin Luther King and his crew, they organized van pools, car pools, taxes, everything.
They
to
look
get
out for
people
the
to work.
underdogs.
They made sure
Yeah.
that way.
And I
everybody
guarantee
needs
you,
to
some
go.
people still rode the bus because you don't need everybody. You just need the masses to understand. So once they did that, they went to the right people. They boycotted the bus system. They didn't boycott Walmart. They didn't boycott Target. They boycotted the one who was causing the problem. So if we're going to boycott something, it has to be that person who's causing us a real problem. Gucci ain't causing us no problem. We don't support Gucci.
Nope.
If we take out $200 from them, they're going to still survive.
Right.
If we started doing something about these school lunches, that's a different story. See, we can do that. All kids should eat free. I don't care what the parent.
I agree.
Inmates
I
eat.
agree.
Inmates eat free. How can an inmate get 3 meals a day, but school kids can't get but one? See, that's something we can get together on, and it won't be a boycott. It's gonna start with a petition and action.
But first you got to get involved with your kids' schooling and stuff.
you
You know,
go.
we get these emails and we get these letters, and just throw it in the garbage. You need to read them things. Go.
I got
And
Oh.
not just get involved, stay involved.
Right.
Stay involved.
And,
That's
and what a
right.
lot of parents do that I've seen in the years, I don't have school-age children anymore, but you'll be involved from pre-K maybe till middle school, and after then you fall off.
Right.
No, that's when you really, really should
That's
be
right.
there.
Because that's when they
You
need you
know,
the most,
exactly.
actually, when they're teens.
And-
They need the most
And the
guidance.
thing is, building a team, because we all gonna fall off sometime. But when you build a team, the struggle keeps
Got
going.
somebody
You
to step in.
can't.
Yep.
Listen, you can never have. Anytime you build something, you have a single point of failure where one person missing, it all go to shit. It's not sustainable. You have to build a team. We can all build a team. We can all have our own personal issues, but as long as we know what the team goals are, she can speak because she's got an agenda for the four. But if I'm the only one who can speak on agenda, and when I don't show up, we ain't going to talk about it, we're already doomed.
Yeah.
And that's what we keep doing because we don't want to talk because, of course, we can only concentrate on one thing at a time.
One thing at a
according to most of
time.
y'all.
Yeah.
But we have to have agendas. We have to have planned agendas. When you get mad, it's kind of like shopping while you're hungry. It's the worst time to try to think of something because you're mad.
Yeah.
The best time to shop is when you got a list. Then you don't overspend.
It's not
That
impulsive.
Right,
That's
because
right.
then
Yeah.
you're impulsive. And he who angers you controls you. That's as true as it gets.
That's right.
Because when you acting off emotion, you talking harsh, even if you got the people with you, the way you talking will turn other people off who would normally be on your side.
And most
Right.
importantly, you're not listening. When you're angry, you're not listening. You want it your way and only your way, and that's it.
And that's what we got to get past. And that's one of the things I want us to do. If we got issues, let's sit down and talk. Get you a group of people, the informed subgroup, so that we can get the pros and cons, so that we can have a strategic game plan of how to win. How do we win this? How do we make judges stop making dumb decisions? Go to courthouses, because we don't ever talk about going to courthouses. You know, we don't want jury duty, we don't want to vote, but we mad about the legal system.
At
See,
local level
you're working
again.
against
Yeah, that's
yourself.
right, that local
You're working
level.
against yourself. We don't ever publish the judge's name who find these officers innocent. So who we mad at? Oh, we mad at the NFL. Just make that shit make sense. Just make that shit make sense. All right, we gotta take a quick break and we're gonna come
Quick
back
break.
because we gotta let it go. We had
Wrap it
fun.
up.
We're gonna come this one, tell you how to get in touch with everybody, all right?
Mhm.
Random Thoughts with DVP with Lyle Moore, Trin Marie, and Honey Landers.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Hey, awesome
Who's
show.
that?
That first call when JJ said, "Yeah, tell her I am always watching." This is a
I
great
know
show
it.
today. This is a great show.
I'm like, damn, I know I'm in trouble. I know I'm in trouble because I did.
Jay be liking when y'all be going. She be liking it when y'all be going in.
Yeah.
She liking when they go in.
I know you have a
She be
fire
going
team.
in hard over there too.
I know you have a fire team.
And there's, I'm not passionate about a whole bunch of things. When I am,
Tell everybody, don't
man,
let this cute smile and this pretty ass face fool you.
oh, we know, we know.
But see, I always say that.
You just got a look on your face like, bitch, I ain't the one. You just got it.
It's changed to
They
pretty
want
folks
me
now.
to
Back
die.
in the day, they say, pretty folks soft.
Oh,
Pretty
but
folks
see-
ain't
I
soft.
know.
No, but see,
I-
hey,
see, I've never
hey,
known pretty
wait,
folks to be
it's the
soft.
pretty
But you know
small ones. Them
I'm just-
small TNT
I'm just
packages.
as mild as me.
Mhm.
Yeah, my mama
Until-
my mama ain't that
Push
guy.
out. It's so hard for me to come back, and I hate
Yeah.
going there.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know that's why I try to not be around people that gets me to that, because I know how I am, and I just like, you know what, let me just go this way because I'm about to shoot all kind of shit across the room.
And I ain't even, once I get there, Trina had me, I called her to do the cow last, I done called her to do the, and I hate that word. But when people do certain things, okay, you know what, I'm there now and I got time. Let me just let you know who you are, because you know, I was trying to be politically correct and,
Tactful.
Saga
but
said
that,
you old,
that,
which
that
makes
ain't
sense.
working. That ain't working.
And sometimes I feel like, I'm gonna say for me, I have to show you.
Right.
Just
Sadly,
yeah.
Right.
And then I'll
Everybody
come back.
talking
Hey,
about
I'll
that,
come back.
Dude, like, oh, so you went to my page, you
know,
pay a pop.
don't
No,
piss
dude, you
them
got, you claim you work for the people, but you got someone about stabbing women.
Right.
You a fraud, you a coward.
Yeah, he
Probably
is.
aggravate somebody,
He is
but
pretty
they-
right.
Oh, I'm an activist, you can do
They
this.
talk
ready
about their
for the other
switch, you know. that-
Yeah, but you gotta tell
What
me
show
when.
is that?
Piss me off, so
And see,
I'm
and
like,
you were who I thought of when, because like what I would like to do, I would like to, for us to put together a show of domestic violence, but from the men's standpoint. Because, you know, people, we just always ignore the men. We always want to focus on women when we hear domestic violence, and men go through it. You know, men go through some crazy
I can
mess.
show you some
And
paperwork.
I thought about you.
I'll see if I can black out the, if they'll let
Saga
me black
eat
out the
your ass in
names.
this
I'll
fast
show
show. What
you.
it called?
It's-
Strawberry.
You're right.
So you got some good stories? Because somebody gave me a challenge, girl. Like, I challenge you to get some stories
A
from
lot of times when
somebody
happens
whatever.
is when
That's my boy.
these issues of breaking
No, I
up
know he
habits
did.
and
I
these
mess with
calls,
you. Yeah, he started
I
up,
would
but
say
he
all
gonna
the
be
time,
Team
but you
Tree.
have them
Y'all ready?
where the
Come back
women
in?
are the abuser, but the men go to
Yeah,
jail.
the men go to jail,
You
yeah.
know, they go to jail.
So let us know when you're ready. You know, so y'all already got that.
We know y'all
got
still
7
here,
minutes, so
so
you
we
good.
don't care.
All right.
All right, coming in. 5,
Can you bring us back?
4,
Fine.
3,
Black the face?
2.
Welcome back to Random Thoughts with DVP. I'm Trina Marie. We got DVP, Lyle Moore, and Miss Honey Landers over here.
Mm-hmm.
Before we went to break, I don't remember what we were talking about.
We never do.
I'm not
We
gonna-
never
You
do.
know what? We'll just bring out the drug test. How do you lie?
55.
Okay, so me and Lyle can claim old age.
Double nickel, baby.
Oh, whatever.
Say.
I'm just saying.
I just
But-
want to say, fun fact, health tip. Somebody told me if you smell rosemary, taste rosemary, it helps you.
Okay.
Why you
right.
say that so sexy?
I know you.
Yeah, see? You know that bass. We don't know what bass will do for you. We'll say you can't see me, but you can hear me.
Everybody.
Go ahead, Big Will.
Our operator.
Yeah, Big Will. Mhm.
See, every time I try to do a PG show, what y'all just turn this shit. all the way over. All right, but again, like I said, when we talk about stuff, we want to have solutions. We don't want to just sit around and be and be game bitch a lot. And you got to have solutions, but to get there, you got to be willing to listen. I'm a smart guy, but you know what? Sometimes I'm wrong. And I need somebody who can tell me that without just saying you're wrong. You got to tell me when I'm wrong and how I'm wrong. Because when I tell you wrong, I'm going to give it to you. Why? So, and that's what we have, but you got to be open and receptive to that if you want to be better.
I think a lot of people who do some of these things and with organizers, I think one thing that would be really important is conflict resolution. Some people don't know how to come to an agreement or to how to enter into that or how to resolve these issues on a level playing field. Like you say, it's all about emotion. Once you go left, it's a wrap. Nobody's listening, nobody's doing anything. So then, as we said, being able to go to the president, being able to go to sit down and things like that in the same way that Martin Luther King did, but they were looking for some resolution. The other thing is, whether we boycotting or not or whatever, if we don't have a goal in mind, how will we know if we reached it?
We'll achieve it. It's kind of like being rich. You can't say I want to be rich. You have to have a dollar amount,
That's right.
or you'll never attain your goal.
Because it's different for each person.
Right, and that's what we got to do. But we have to understand what affects the lower income people because
That
we
too.
cannot
Yeah,
win
I'm
without them.
Right.
I'm down with that.
That is-
Because
that-
they're not
that is
going to
the most
boycott it.
crucial
If
thing
they're
going.
going to lose their their
Right,
place
they
of
can't
residence,
afford
or
to.
they're going to lose their kids, they can't feed their people. They're not gonna participate in the boycott.
And you know, as much as we hate to admit it, there ain't been not one successful thing that we did without the help of people who had finances to help support our cause. So let go of your hatred for people for wild reasons. Because if that's the case, all of us can hate somebody black, because I'm sure most of us can tell something black that somebody black did that we
Right.
experienced. Let it go. If they didn't do it to you personally, stop holding them accountable for their ancestors. People don't hold us accountable for what our ancestors or cousins did. Stop holding people it's reckless. We could be so much more, because this is a human race, and we do want our own kind. But honestly speaking, if we're being totally honest, how many of us want to stay in an all-black neighborhood? Because you know what? We scared some niggas gonna creep in. And that's the hard truth.
That's messed up.
That's the hard truth. There's a reason why we don't like going to Greenbrier. It's a hard truth. We want to act like we don't want to acknowledge the facts, but facts are facts. The Negroes want to live together. But when you come with your rims and your loud ass music at 2 in the morning, all of a sudden we realize why we moved so far out.
Parties.
These are truths that we don't want to acknowledge because we want to blame everybody else. We have to accept responsibility. We have to accept accountability. If Honey's business failed, who can you blame first?
Me.
Because it's her marketing, and if it's going too wrong, Honey got to realize she got to adjust her prices. But Honey ain't going to adjust her price for everybody. Because if you say, oh, I want something, and she say what it costs, ooh, that's too much. Well,
Okay.
I'm not
if-
for you.
I said thank you.
Right.
I
I'm
said thank you
not
for your
for you.
consideration.
That's right.
Unless you tell Honey, okay, well, how, you know, because I do this with people when they got something too. Well, how about if I buy 4? Because then once you start talking in bulk and you can give a deposit, they will listen. But for me to just sit there and be whining about their price, you know, I told people who look at me for security. I had a call the other day, and I told somebody, I said, you don't want me. I'm too expensive for what you want. Let me point you in another direction. Because I ain't gonna change my price.
Right.
But what you want, you need. And she's like, you know what? That's why I like
You
using
They
you.
go to these high price stores and they go in with no qualms, no anything,
and
no.
pay
You
whatever's
can't
on the
negotiate.
ticket.
They don't
You pay
question
what's on
them.
ticket, and you
Yeah.
just come out, and then you put it on social media and you
And you
brag
feel
about
proud.
what you spend.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know, treat me the same
Right.
way
Yeah.
because
But-
you won't have me about my prices.
Mhm.
My prices are my prices.
Right.
Right, but because the rappers ain't rapping about you and
Exactly.
you're nobody to
It
them.
ain't hot, right?
Yep,
Okay.
you're not hot.
And you can't get a package deal. When we talk about these 2-for-1, 3s, and those are on products. Whatever we're doing a la carte for
Right.
that person each time. So
Right.
there are no package deals because we're still doing twice the work. It's not like say, oh, if you buy 5 of these, I give you a deal, you get 10. I just got a lot of stock. I'm trying to get rid of it. So that's why we
Right.
have the ability to give you a deal. People got to realize how businesses go. If you bring me 2 people, I still got to do makeup from top to bottom on each one of those people. So there is no, well, I do this person in the second one half or whatever like that.
You gotta know the
I do
business.
run
Right.
deals,
And
but
graphics is almost like art. We
Mhm.
have to take the
It's
color and put it
personal.
on the.
oh yeah,
it is.
so
It is.
each little
Yes.
thing you got to do.
It's,
Yeah.
all 3 of them businesses are
Very
personal.
detailed.
It requires them to do a lot of
Very
manual
detailed.
labor. So there
I've
ain't
seen
no,
your work.
yeah,
Ain't
there
no
ain't
deal.
there ain't a lot of fluctuation. In mine it is because I employ a bunch of people, but theirs involves them doing stuff manually.
And you
digitally.
know what?
Right.
They don't have a
People-
machine that's gonna do everything.
I'm
Right.
sorry, the people, I mean, I made a post on Facebook, I think a video or a short video, and it was a did you know? that, did you know that your finished product has a process?
That's right.
So that
Mhm.
process
How
from
did you get
A,
to this?
exactly, you see it at the end and you just see what you want, but it
Mhm.
takes work to get what you want.
Oh, I can do
You know?
that. We'll do it. Don't call me.
Okay, for real.
Right.
Problem solved. All right. Well, it's almost time for us. Is this the last one, or we doing one more before I can?
No, that's it.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let everybody give their thing. For y'all, I'm gonna let Honey come back because she shortchanged me. She didn't bring no product or nothing, even though she was told to.
We need her for 2 reasons, taxes
Yeah.
and.
Oh no, well she don't know that. I'm telling you now. What really got me to her attention? No, is she does a thing about getting dads their rights with visitation and stuff like that. That was one of the things that we started on, but we didn't have no
Not
time.
visitation.
I'm sorry.
Parenting time. It's
Parenting time. Because visitation is for
You can't-
inmates.
You cannot visit.
I
your
got you.
Okay,
See?
okay.
And she
That's
correct
that wording,
and
that's
you know
that
what?
lingo,
She's
gotta get
right.
it
There should be no visitation for
Yeah.
parents. There should be
Yeah.
your custodial time, or what'd you call it again?
It's parenting time.
Okay.
Parenting.
So, and that's what I really want her to come back for is that specific
That's
thing.
major
So
for
tell
the
us
dads.
how to find you and some of the things you do. And go ahead. You know, I'm gonna go and let her do because I am friends with her husband. He can sing. We did play football together, even though he wouldn't throw me the winning touchdown pass. But I ain't gonna hold on to that. Tell us how to find you and you know how to see some of the
Okay.
car events.
Well, really, just check me out I really want everybody to just tap in and just check me out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Dads, it's called Dads, and it's DADS for Dads Against Deadbeat System. Again, I advocate for fathers, fit fathers, fighting for the rights for their children. Children shouldn't have to decide whether they should be loved by mother or father. They should be loved by both, and they shouldn't have to worry about, you know, am I okay giving my mother love? Am I okay giving my dad love? That shouldn't be an issue when it comes to children. I want people to know, yes, there are deadbeat dads out there. We know that. There are deadbeat moms out there as well. But I do want
That's
people
fair to
to
say,
know, amen.
Amen.
But what I do want people to know, if you are one of the people who always say, well, the dad needs to be in their life, the dad needs to be in their lives, also be that person to help support those fit fathers
That's
who are
right.
trying to be in the kids' lives. So you can't straddle the fence. I mean, you can't bitch about it and then not have and support those who try to. And again, you can just follow me on social media. I'm Honey Landers. Any of my page will probably have my links. Fam Customs is for my customization, and Dads Against Deadbeat System, which is just Dads Against on Instagram. Just check me out.
And don't forget the tax one.
Oh, I'm sorry. And Chase
She forgot why
Tax.
she was here.
Right, the other reason.
Chase Tax is on Facebook as well. And of course, everybody knows that my husband sings, and I just love him. But anyway, you can check out Jakar and Experience for live music in your city.
Might have to come check
Thanks,
that
God,
out
for
when my
having
girl
me.
come back.
Oh yeah,
Thank you for coming.
he actually pretty good.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. You had a lot of great information. Appreciate it. Wrapping up makeup and more. Y'all know where y'all can find me.
I'm Trina Marie. You can find me on Instagram at funsize, 2 F's _ at the end.
No, DVP, the host of Random Thoughts with DVP. If you want a good debate, Darren Bell, Darren A. Bell, Trina Marie, come to the page. We're there for you. All right, y'all know
Got
we'll
lots
see
of
y'all
great specials.
soon.
Valentine's Day specials.
We didn't get a
Makeup
chance to talk
and
about
more.
Valentine's Day, but you know we're gonna see how
We
many y'all in
flexing with
trouble
the
next
red
week.
light.
All right,
Look,
so-
I'll be out of trouble. Next week's gonna be a good week because see, after Valentine's, everybody's good, and then after that, then they screw up.
We see y'all
So I'll
next
be
week.
good for another couple
6
weeks.
days, 22 hours, and some change. Y'all know
Yeah.
what it is. Peace, popcorn, and
Makeup
chicken
and more.
grease.
Random
I love
Thoughts, DVP. We out. Jay Bizzle, my brother. So,
So yeah, that's one of the things I want to
I'm
give
just
to
wrapping up
about
the
how I
podcast.
can
I'm
be
about
more
to
of a
leave,
part
so
of
get
your
ready to
dad.
crib. I'm gonna come to the crib. Chris called me, so I'm gonna see what he doing. The hoop game is on, so
I was talking
come
about
to the crib and chill.
child support and
Yeah, another great show, y'all. Random Thoughts.
y'all.
Yeah.
Hey, Will, you get the pictures?
Yeah, I'll take
They-
this
they-
Because we wanted,
People
we
won't
already,
know
ready.
that
Y'all ready.
if you
Just
look
let
at
me
the
know.
page, you won't know it's me.
All right,
And I
I'm
did
out.
that intentionally.
And that's the dad's one, right?
Yeah, that's the dad's one. I did that intentionally. But I made the mistake of posting it on my personal page one day, and the lady was like, she said, why would I support why would I support you in what you're doing? Because my child's father's not his life. I said, duh.
That's all the more reason.
Exactly.
Right. She don't want no support.
And you know,
I ain't
it's-
finna help that.
You know, like the guy that he was going with back and forth last night. You know, he was like, you know, he's so opinionated, whatever. He's like, well, why don't you come on the show? Come on the show. And talk. He's like, oh, well, if you want to meet